Got it on the first try. What's up, boys?
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on?
Oh, man,
Hello.
I need to get my beeper back. Dad gummit. It's so good when you just... I'm never expecting it. You always just bring it in on occasion, and it's always, hits me right there.
It's not
Big word.
overused is the key.
Yeah.
I sneezed the other day, and the two buttons are side by side for just pure mute, and you know, and I was like, and then you could hear like in Caitlin's mic and in the background, just like the rest of my sneeze.
Like chew in the distance.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're
Hey,
sounding
everybody,
good, by the way.
welcome. What?
We're sounding good. We're sounding
Well,
good.
good. Glad to hear. Well, this is what's important. Can you hear this twice? Or once on the stream? That's what really matters, because that's always the thing that's broken.
I heard it once.
Hey, look at us. I'm so proud. Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Forecast, the bi-weekly podcast about everything games, film, and news. I'm Aaron Juno.
I'm Alex McCausland.
I'm Ben Diaz.
I'm Caleb Juno.
I'm McCausland Chad.
Oh,
That got me.
Swapping it up, huh?
Oof. On today's episode number 207, the Game Awards revealed their nominees, which blew up the internet. Steam has a new season pass policy, and Arcane, the final season 2, the final season. I don't even know how to title it, but yeah, sure, it came out. Plus, we raised over 10K for Extra Life, which you guys may have talked about the last time you podcasted when I wasn't here. Ben beat Elden Ring. And of course, we've been playing games. If you'd like to know more about what we do, you can follow us on our social channels. You can check out our website, wearethehorizon.com. We have a ton of original content for you to browse through, including our new Pathfinder 2e campaign that we will maybe get to play again at some point in the future,
Hopefully.
called Crown and Conquest. Additionally, everything we talk about is in our cast notes, which is pushed out to whatever podcasting app you are using.
You know, maybe in like 60 episodes, that part about Ben will be correct.
I think it's just going to become a permanent staple now.
Mm,
I saw it in there and I was like, why take this out? What's even the point? It's got to stay. Anyway.
We raised over
Guys.
11,000, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
I know. We're dominating.
We're almost
Are we
12.
still... I think we were at like 70th highest fundraising team in all of Extra Life at one point.
Nice.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
fallen a little bit. We're at 93.
Okay, that's fine.
A bunch of
We'll bump back up.
losers. Well, there's
I believe.
150 controllers still left. Just FYI, I just want to throw it out there. You know.
I just want to throw that. Guys, good news. Jake is not here.
Good news.
so we have a chance to
Is that
win.
good news?
Good news. I mean, you know, people have
Somebody
a
else
chance.
can win.
That's the key. People have
All right.
a chance.
Ready, guys? Don't call it a comeback, but here I come.
All right. Welcome to Video Game Indomitable Gauntlet, the trivia game where the games are real, the score definitely matters, but the game master still can't build puzzles. Why is Jake there?
Wait,
Oh,
Jake
You
is
Secretly,
lied to me.
Jacob's
He
here.
is here.
he's gonna
there
win.
in
his
spirit?
camera pops in. Surprise.
How annoying would that be if he was like, you know what, guys, I'm here.
Just for V-Gig, and then I'm leaving.
Just joined in
Just here to
from
win.
Texas.
Stop
I
on the
can't
laptop.
leave him there. It's gonna bug me. It's gonna really bug me. We'll put 2 Chads, and then we'll put 2 Calebs, and then we'll put 2 Alexes, and then there's no Alex next to me. Boom. Look at it go.
Sucks to be Alex down there.
Get Alex away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I just gotta
Still
get
I
getting
just want to point
isolated.
out
Stay in
that
the
I
corner.
had 2 amazing beers last night. Just,
Ooh.
you know.
Is it the Space Camper?
Oh,
Oh,
it's the
bro.
Quantum Hop. It's the new one, dude. It's
Bro.
phenomenal.
Bro. Space Camper, good beer. Where was I at? Oh yeah, V-Gig, as we call it, takes our cast members' video game knowledge and puts it to the test. This is Gauntlet number 5? I think it's Gauntlet number 5. Let me go over the details of the rules of the game before we get started so everyone's on the same page. Number 1, in the Gauntlet, players will be presented with trivia questions, can buzz in at any point. Number 2, players get 10 seconds to guess after buzzing in. Final answers are not necessary. 3, each correct answer is worth 1 point. Incorrect answers mean you're out for the round. 4, the round ends after a correct guess. All players have guessed incorrectly or 30 seconds, whichever comes first. Number 5, the timer is paused after a player buzzes in and resumes after an incorrect guess. Number 6, the game master has the final say. And most of the time, guesses don't have to be exact. Number 7, the most points at the end of the game wins the title of Senpai.
This is a V-Gig.
This is not a VGig VGig.
This is not a big
This is video game Indomitable Gauntlet, Alex.
are you
Did you not
telling
hear me
me-
say it?
Alex.
This
Are you
is
telling me
nerd
we're playing for the
B-gig,
title
B-gig.
Senpai when Jake isn't here? That's just so unfair.
We did that on purpose.
Let me set up
sure.
the scores. Set up the scores. There we go. Yeah, that looks correct. Alex with 2 wins, Caleb with 3 wins, Chad with 4 wins, and Ben with 1. I'm not even gonna go over how many wins Jake has because it's embarrassing to all of you.
Only 7,
Every single
right?
one of you.
More than
I'm
7.
on his tail.
Okay.
I'm hot on his tail.
Let's also introduce the theme for this week, which is main theme me, daddy.
Um,
All right. Similar to last time.
that doesn't help.
Similar to last time. If you remember, what we did was we did this little experiment to see if we could maybe get some copyright infringement to pop up on Twitch by playing small segments of soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
And if you also remember, like pretty much, I will say 80% of them were orchestral arrangements, and it constantly kept coming up that there were orchestral arrangements. So I've really, really, really tried this time to limit the number of orchestral arrangements and get us a good swath of things. I also went through you guys' Steam libraries and picked
Oh,
some
boy.
things out that I thought,
Oh,
hey,
boy.
I've
Aaron.
played this.
Aaron, I don't know what's in there.
Oh, no, Ben! You hate to see it. All right, there are 26 clues this week, and I, of course, don't have them written down in order, but hey, there's all the images. I'll go from that. That'll work. Anybody have any questions before we get started? All right.
No.
How much do I have to be behind to start getting a handicap? That's my question.
Alex is only beating you by 1 win. Ben.
That's true. I didn't realize.
If it
Yeah.
were, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Yeah.
So really, we all need a handicap. Is what
Yeah.
Well, I think
Well,
what
this is the
happens is
handicap. He's gone.
if Jake is ever the game master and I am then beating you at score, Ben, then I think we will give you a handicap. We'll address it at that point.
Okay, got it.
Okay, perfect. All right, here we go with clue number 1.
Alex so know this. I just don't know it.
Yeah.
Alex.
But can I clarify something? Is it the main theme? Is all these main themes of the game?
You know, similar to last time, I tried to get as close as I can, but some games actually do not have a defined main theme. For those games, I picked things were specific to the launch screen.
Okay, I think it's Fury. Dang.
Good guess, though.
Man, I'm gonna be so mad when I see this.
Ben.
Throw a guess out there. Hitman.
Throw a
Ooh,
guess
Caleb.
out there.
Or Chad, I mean.
Neon white.
Ooh,
I should see neon white.
I could
That's
see
a
that
good
being neon white. I could see it fitting.
Ooh.
Caleb.
Last second he goes in.
Is this a Command and Conquer game? I don't know which
Final guess?
one.
Final guess?
Yeah, Command
Anything?
and Conquer.
I am sorry. How do I pause this? Nope. I don't remember how I pause it. Oh, got it. Woo! It's been a second.
I was really
answer we
thinking
were
there was
looking
going to be
for-
like a change in the music at some point.
No.
Give us
The
more
answer
clues.
we're looking for is Valorant.
Oh,
wow.
I do know
Oh.
it.
No shot. I would have gotten that.
Yeah,
Never
played it.
even launched that game
Never
before.
played it.
Although, once again, I do turn the music down in PvP games immediately. So
It's gonna make this one really difficult, like last week.
Oh boy, here we go with clue number 2. Ben.
Nino Kuni. Oh shit.
Caleb.
Liza P.
aw.
Alex.
Spider-Man.
I am sorry, that is incorrect. Oh, you gonna go with 0 seconds on the clock, Chad?
I don't know.
was a good try. The answer we were looking for is Slay the Spire.
Oh, Jake would have got that one.
Nerd.
I should have got that one. I've played a lot
Hate
of
to
that.
see it.
You know,
Guys.
after listening to a bunch of that soundtrack while we're playing that board game, all that music sounds like music from other games.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually kind of does. Yeah. Yeah. It is good music, but it's not like, nothing's like standout. You know, like when you put on the shuffle and it starts pulling in other songs and then a Hollow Knight song comes on and it's like the first note.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's, yeah. We are off the playlist now. It's Hollow Knight.
Yep. Yep.
Oh man, I just play Hollow Knight on mute.
Oh, shut your mouth. You're on the podcast, Ben.
That's hurt every time you've said it so far.
Oh, Ben.
Clue number 3. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see it right there. It's right on the tip of your tongue. Ben?
Do I have to be more specific than just saying a Final Fantasy game?
Well, you would, but it's not a Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
Man, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
We are out of
That
time.
sounds really familiar.
The answer we are looking for is Monster Hunter World.
Nope, haven't played that. Never mind.
Guys, Jake is somewhere sad right now.
What happens if we all tie at 0?
There's no way. Do you guys all tie? There is no possible. 26 questions.
I think
there's
we
no
all-
way.
Instead of somebody earning the title of Senpai, we all just earn the title of Baka.
Yeah.
All right. Clue number 4.
Oh shit.
I know this one.
Oh,
I
get
know
the
this
guitar in there. Ben.
Is this one neon white? No. Wait, that's not what I meant to say. Shit.
Alex.
Jet Set Radio.
Caleb.
Is it Persona 4?
Chad, last guess.
Deceive Inc.
Was it Hi-Fi Rush?
No. The answer we were looking for, whoops, there it goes again. The answer we were looking
Sounds
for
really
is Mario Kart 8.
Wow.
Guys.
Wow.
The thing you're not hearing is the actual sound effect at the very beginning when he goes, Mario!
Yeah.
Because it's so integral to the song, it's hard to even hear.
I haven't played any of these.
Should have played Coconut
I should've-
I
Mall.
didn't think that game had like a jazz
I shouldn't
feel
play
to it.
that. I shouldn't
Mhm.
use that as an excuse because he's going to play like my top played game on my library,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to get and miss it.
Do you even know what your top played game of your library is?
Is
Not
EVE
nowadays.
Online on Steam?
It used to be a really weird like chivalry game. Now I think it's probably Skyrim.
I believe it is some sort of, what's it called? Well, I still have it up. Look at that. It is
I'm doing research.
Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms.
Oh, I think I left that running on my computer for like a week straight.
Yeah. It's an idle game. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'm surprised
right,
Civ
right.
5's coming in at second place.
Wow.
Wow.
Game number 5.
Man, I know this one too.
Okay, this kicks ass, whatever it is.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
this is a good song. Let me whip out Shazam real quick.
I don't know what this is, but I want to play it now.
I know this.
Oh, everybody knows it. Caleb.
Is this Beat Saber?
Yeah.
Yes.
I tried to
we
click it
have
right
it.
when
Beat
you did.
Saber has
Yes.
a particular theme.
That
Yeah.
song
I thought it was like
man.
Guitar Hero, where it just ran through all of the songs on the main
Oh.
screen.
There's
Yeah,
like
it's
a
a bunch of
specific
custom
Beat Saber
songs.
song that you can
They're-
play though. That's like Beat Saber theme or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and their Beat Saber songs are probably the best songs they have. They're
They're
excellent.
really
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I also
Mhm.
forgot I modded mine, so I just I just download a whole bunch of random stuff that's not in
But I
the game.
turned the
Oh,
music in that
same,
game
but
all the
man,
way down.
Default ones.
You just play no music.
Just focus on the shiny lights.
It's just the sound of slashing through brick. Nothing else.
Oh no! All right, game 6. Here we go.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Air.
Yeah,
Water.
right?
Fire.
Oh man, so many are gonna be so upset.
This is a really bad showing for us.
I am
Nothing
sorry,
idea.
lying in there.
guys. Let's just. Yeah.
It sounds like maybe like a Splinter Cell or something.
Incorrect.
Oh,
You're gonna be
Call of
really
Duty.
upset
Is it?
when you find out the answer is actually Cyberpunk 2077. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Man, that is. I feel like that's not a big enough song for them. You know, it doesn't
It's
hit
just like
hard
the
enough.
menu music.
Yeah.
It's just really
How long do you
Yes.
think I've been that
low
menu?
key.
I'm in the game faster than you could. You know, SSD boys, SSD.
This is one that I could not find like an actual. This is the main theme. The only thing that anybody ever listed was that it's what's at the menu music or main screen.
It should have just been the that
I
like
know-
2-second clip that plays whenever somebody says the word "come" and they cut to Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves for a second. That meme.
What? Oh my gosh! Have you not seen that?
I missed that one, I think.
Oh no! All right, here we go. Game number 7. Come on. We only have 1 point on the board. This is our 7th clue. Here we go. Chad.
Baldur's Gate.
Oh, Chad, you're gonna be so angry. Caleb.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring is so recognizable. Get out of here.
Can I guess again? If nobody guesses, can I guess again?
That is time. The answer we were looking for is Dark Souls 3.
Oh, no, okay.
I was
I would
very
have got it wrong if I
close.
guessed again anyway.
What were you gonna guess?
Not one
Wait
of
for
the
the
things I was
guess.
considering.
Very close. All right, still 1 point on the board. Here we go. Clue number 8.
You sure this isn't just a sound effect?
Mm-hmm.
Not what I thought it was. Oh shit, this sounds familiar.
Caleb.
Is it Risk of Rain 2?
Is it Risk of Rain 1?
Ben.
Ben Buzz. Yeah.
The answer we were
It
looking
sounds
for
really familiar.
Is it EVE Online?
is EVE Online.
Oh my gosh.
I have intentionally wiped a lot of that from my brain because I know I can't afford the addiction of going back.
Oh
Wow.
no! You hate to see it. Game 9. Here we go.
I don't think there's enough time here.
Oh,
Ben.
no, I didn't mean to hit that. I'm sorry. That was an accident.
You have a guess?
No, I have no idea.
Ooh, Chad.
GTFO?
Ooh, that's a really good guess, Caleb.
Is it Dead Space?
I am sorry. The answer we were
The
looking
other
for.
Dead Space. The other game.
is, in fact, Death Stranding.
Who here among us has played that?
Yeah. Can we just talk about this? None of us have played this game.
none of us have played it.
I had to throw
Rude.
some curveballs in here. This is one of them. Don't worry.
You had to?
I
Look
had
at the
to.
scores, my guy.
Well, I
you
thought-
did. Based
I
on
thought
the
picking
scores.
things from people's libraries, people
Also,
would
can I just
know.
say, you remember
Here we
earlier
are.
when he said he was trying to avoid instrumental scores?
Hey, I tried. There's a lot of non-instrumental. Listen. Here we go.
There's
Here
been
comes
a
the next
variety.
one. Game 10. Clue 10.
Sea of
Chad,
Thieves.
Nice.
I
go.
Man,
could not be prouder.
Points on the board.
2 times I've tried clicking at the same exact time
Oh,
and actually knew the answer.
Oh man, if
Rip.
somebody should have just buzzed in and said Skull and Bones, I would have probably given you a point just for fun. All right, here we go. Next clue. Ben.
Skull and Bones.
I know this song like the back of my hand.
Oh, Caleb.
I think it might be a near game, but I'm not sure which one. So I'm gonna guess near just thought.
Chad.
Stellar Blade.
Good though. Very near feel.
That is time. The answer we were looking for is Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh, no wonder you know the song,
I
Alex.
hear it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it now.
Yeah, I should
Damn.
have got that one.
Evanescence, the video game.
That's a good quest right there.
Should have known that one for sure. I could
Guys,
sing it.
we are 12 clues in. There are 2 points on
Too many
the board.
curveballs.
This is definitely
How
harder
many
than last
total
time.
are we? How many total do we have?
There's 26 games.
All right. We can make a comeback.
Yeah, we can make 4 more points probably.
I'm looking at the games. I mean, there's a chance.
4.
but
Caleb. Oh, calm down.
yike. All right, here we go. Game number 12. Alex.
Divinity.
You paused for so long.
I know this song too.
Caleb.
Is it The Witcher 3?
Ooh.
I think I know what game this is, and I cannot remember the name of it, and it's driving me insane.
Chad.
Skull and Bones.
Oh, all right. The answer we were looking for. Hearthstone, you morons.
No, that wasn't what I was thinking.
Dang, I've never played that.
Yeah.
I know that
I
song
have
better
played
than I would expect. I would know it now, knowing what the game is.
Well, again, as I previously mentioned, I looked at people's libraries and I thought, oh, games that they put 70 plus hours in, they'll probably know the theme song for that. Not going to name names in particular. Ben, are you checking your library right now?
I was checking to make sure it wasn't me.
I thought it was you.
Oh, is it me?
It's you.
Oh, damn. I didn't think I'd played that much Hearthstone.
All right. Clue number 13. Here we go. Ben.
Subnautica.
Aww. Aww.
Alex.
Is it Citizen Sleeper?
Yes, it is. What?
Oh man.
I thought it was too. I tried to click the button.
Is it Risk of Rain 1?
Man, thematically, excellent guesses across the board.
All I can hear is Citizen Sleeper.
Yeah.
Not a
Oh, I'm
Mass
seeing
Effect
in my
game, is
brain.
it?
The answer we were looking for is satisfactory.
Oh, okay, that's
Oh.
embarrassing.
Man.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, man.
That's a recent game you played a lot
I
of.
was gonna say, at least with Hearthstone, I haven't played it in like 5 years. That one, I'm like, yikes. I'm gonna just blame the fact I've just got vacation brain still. We're just gonna do that.
Yep.
I'm
Mhm.
just so glad me and Alex thought Citizen Sleeper at like the exact same moment. Makes me happy.
All right, with
Even though
2
it's wrong.
points on
I'm
the
gonna
board.
use Chad's excuse of how long do you think I'm realistically sitting on the main menu with that?
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest here.
With 2
SSD,
points on the board.
baby.
Here is clue number 14.
This is up there with really cool sounding songs. Like, I'm down for it. I don't
Oh,
know what
man.
it is.
Chad, you want to know what the answer is?
Oh,
No.
Hyperscape.
Oh, okay.
again.
Oh,
It's a
no.
PvP game. I have no music.
Chad, you gotta start playing with music just for
I
V-Gig.
guess.
All right, here we go. I believe in you guys. Game or clue number 15.
Aw,
Alex,
you got it
please.
first.
God of War.
Dang.
All right. That was, man, good job. But that's 3 points on the board. Ben, I need you to score a point so that every
Also, how
person.
many years?
Yeah.
So even tie.
How
All right,
many
I'm
years has
trying
it
my
been
best.
since Hyperscape?
You're throwing me games that I know, and I'm still missing them. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Clue number 16. Caleb,
Ooh.
instantly.
Yeah, but now I'm not convinced I know what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's
Good
Witcher
guess.
3.
The button's not
Um,
working.
Yeah, hold on. Stop
Oh,
right
I know what it is now.
there. Try, Alex.
It's Hades.
Can you press? Here. I got
Sorry.
you. I got you.
I was
got you.
slamming it. It didn't do anything.
I know, because it was paused.
Man.
You are
I knew
correct. That was
it.
Hades. Good guess. Good guesses all around. All right, game 17. Here's a fun clue. You guys have guessed this one.
Oh. Skull and
Risk of
Bones.
Rain 2.
No freaking way.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Aaron,
Can-
give it
can
to
we
me.
hear the
way,
audio?
Aaron.
Yeah, you can hear it. Hold on.
Can we hear the audio?
Yeah.
I would have gotten it.
Good song.
That might have.
Good song.
That could have been Ben.
I'd have gotten it
On
right
board.
there. But not before that.
All right. Good guess. Good guess. Here we go. Clue number 18. And if one of you does not get this, one of you in particular, I'm going to be very, very upset. Alex.
Dun, dun, dun. Hmm.
Ben.
Well, is it Overwatch 2?
Chad.
Is it Uncharted?
Right vibe.
We are out of time. We're out of time. Alex,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to know what this game is?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Is it on the tip of your tongue?
Yeah.
Just say a word. See if it's correct.
Is it Smite?
Frame.
No, it's not Smite. It's not Smite.
Mm-mm.
The answer we were looking for is Paladin.
Paladins. The other
Alex,
high res
you were in the
hero game.
That's funny.
I tried.
Gosh.
I tried. I do all I can. Clue 19.
Shit. I'm gonna get mad at this one.
I feel like I know this.
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like I would know this.
For sure.
Ben.
It's not Wind Waker, is it?
Wow, the tension building.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Different Zelda.
Ben, I'm going to award you a point.
Is it a different Zelda game?
Oh, I just awarded you -1 points. All right, you're at -1.
No, I thought I couldn't do worse.
The answer we were looking for is Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Oh.
You were close enough. I'll give you the point. That was a good guess. I'm impressed.
I'll take the pity point. Thank you.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah, people need points. Here we go. Clue number 20. Ben.
Animal Crossing?
Nice.
Oh.
He didn't need the pity point.
Yeah, maybe it shouldn't have given the pity point. Holy crap. Good guess. Clue number 21.
Lucky me, that wasn't an Animal Crossing I've played.
I will award 2 points to anyone who can even get the series.
Okay, then it's not the thing I was thinking because that's too easy.
Caleb?
Duke Nukem. Had to guess a random series.
I am sorry. It's such a good song, though.
Man,
Ben?
that's pretty good.
Sins of a Solar Empire.
You know what? Chad and Alex, I'm going to give you guys a chance to guess, if you want to guess here. I mean, you have 15 seconds.
No.
Is it no for Alex?
I'm now thinking of a game title, but I can't think of what the title of the game is. So now
So you're not thinking of a game title.
I'm thinking of a game. I can see the cover art.
Chad?
This is a Remnant.
Good guesses all around, but no. The answer we were looking for is... Whoop, music starting again. The answer we were looking for is Wolfenstein, The New Order, one of my curveballs. Yeah,
Sure
I'll give 1
was.
points for Wolfenstein. Hate to see it. Game 22. Ben?
Is that TF2? No.
Alex?
Is it Sly Cooper?
Ah,
Sounds really familiar. Yeah, I've definitely played this, whatever it is.
is
Pat.
this deceiving?
I was thinking about guessing the same thing, man. I know I should know this.
And there you have it. We're out of time.
Ah, damn it.
The answer we were looking for was Monster Prom.
What? Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
That
That hurts. That one hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That. Wow. All right.
Ouch.
Clue 23.
This is giving me less than I usually have.
The game that
Chad?
you picked for Clue 23.
That
Ben?
weird old game that you and Caleb are always obsessed with. Something to
No.
Competition.
We did that one last week.
Caleb.
Is it Animal Well?
Ooh, yeah, I might have been getting into something there. The answer we were looking for is Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, nice.
Cult of the Lamb.
That one's fun.
All right.
Not fun enough to
Buckle up.
remember the music though.
Clue 24. Alex.
Is it Hellblade?
Good guess.
I should have waited a little bit.
You did too early, Chad.
Hunt Showdown.
Oh,
Nice.
man, you buzzed right before the most important part of that song, Alex. I'm so sorry.
What kind of,
I don't think I would've got
what
it
kind of game
anyway.
even is that?
It's an extraction
Never heard
shooter.
of Oh, that's why I've never heard of it.
All right, here we go. Only 2 clues left, and right now, technically, 3 different people could take the W and the title of Senpai. Here we go. Clue number 25.
Why is this just a Hunt Showdown?
It's the same song.
I know what this is.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Caleb.
I don't know if I do now. Well, this is
Press.
wrong now, actually.
Caleb?
Tainted Grail, though. So
Ben.
A different Hunt game.
The answer we were looking for was Inscription.
Holy crap.
man,
Mm.
Caleb didn't
these
know.
are tough. Why are you
All right.
calling me out like that? You didn't know it either.
I didn't play all the way through Inscription.
Okay,
You didn't
first
play
of all,
all the way
what's
through
wrong with you?
Inscription?
I've never
Alex.
heard of Inscription.
Ben. You'd love
Man.
Inscription. You should go play it, Ben. It's an excellent game.
I don't know. It's
Final
a
clue.
spooky game.
Chad?
Play it.
I just need you to get this, and you can take the W. You can take it home right now.
Is it a game that I know?
I don't know. Ben and Alex, you can tie this up, and then I'll just, there will be multiple senpais this week, and we'll get, crown multiple winners. Caleb, sucks to suck.
Yeah.
I like it.
Ben?
This Nights into Dreams? Okay. That was a long shot.
Alex.
Is this Lithalig?
Leveling.
Lethal.
Lethal League?
Chad.
Knockout City.
Ooh, good guess.
Buzzer on top of it.
Caleb.
Is it Paradise Killer?
I feel like we should somehow erase this V-Gig to where Jake can never see it.
Like, oh man, we forgot to record until after VGig was over this week.
Yeah. The answer we were looking for is GTA 5.
What the heck
Mhm.
kind of song was that? Huh? Okay.
I feel better. I've never
GTA
played that.
5.
I feel
Guys.
like there's no menu for GTA 5. It just goes into the city. So, like, what do you mean?
There are 8 points on the board for a 26 clue game.
I think this is really on you, Aaron.
Oh, this is on me as the game developer? I gotta-
Yeah,
I gotta-
really.
like
You gotta,
25%
you gotta
of
do
these.
better.
I gotta do better.
I
I'll do
need-
better now.
I
For you,
need
Ben,
Jake
I'll
to
do better.
watch the VOD and record his own score.
just live.
See how well you do.
Yeah. Let's see how well he would have done.
Actually, that's a good stream for him.
That would be pretty funny.
Yes, watch it and do see if he's better.
He'll just
Man.
be sort of like, are these guys idiots?
I'm gonna text him right now and tell him don't watch the stream until then.
I definitely only thought I had 2 real curveballs with Wolfenstein and what was the other one I had? Wolfenstein and what's the other one?
It was such a curveball, I don't remember anore.
Yeah,
Me
I'm trying to
too.
remember. I'm looking through this list. I don't have Death Stranding.
Yeah.
I thought those two were going to be the only curveballs, but man,
I mean, if we haven't played it, there's no chance we're gonna get it.
I should have
Yeah.
guessed Wolfenstein because I was trying to think of what's Doom but not Doom.
That's why I
Yes.
guessed Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a good one. But I do think Wolfenstein is the closest Doom, but not Doom, because I think
Yeah.
they're technically in the same universe.
They were kind of like,
What?
That was the Wolfenstein one. Was at the beginning. I was like, is this like Doom 2?
What do you
Or
mean
like-
the same universe?
Somehow connected.
No way Wolfenstein is in the Doom universe.
like
Yeah.
Wolfenstein 3D and like Doom original kind of kickstarted the shooter genre.
I think they have some sort of connection between, or maybe it's speculation that the guy who's the main campaign guy for Wolfenstein, his like descendants become the Doomslayer.
That's
I'll
absurd.
look it up. I'll find it for you guys. All right. Chad, congratulations with 3 points on the board.
That's
You
wild.
win today's title of Senpai. This has been a Video Game Indomitable Gauntlet. All right, I'm swapping us back to the podcast.
Absolutely absurd.
Thank you.
That just maintains status quo of like Jake's not here, so Chad wins now. He was second place before anyway.
Yeah.
If you were going to design one of these games, what would you put in it? Like if you're thinking about VGig, you're like, all right, I want to provide people with a clue to something.
Mhm.
What would it be? It can be visual. It can be auditory. Sadly, I don't think there's any way we could do the sensation of touch or taste or
It
smell.
should just be a screenshot of the Steam library, but then there's one tile missing. And then you have to guess that tile.
Is it like your Steam library in alphabetical order, and I just take a
Yeah.
screenshot and then tile out one of them?
God.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
You could. What if
I
you
have
did
way
like?
too many games on Steam.
What if you did like a screenshot of the game image, but then just blocked out the actual name on the image?
So
Oh,
like,
we've
what's on
done
the
similar before.
Yeah, we did that. Like the what's on the block or on the box, like the box art, or are you talking about like the main title
yeah,
screen?
sort of like box art.
Box art.
Like, here's a screenshot of what I've got in Steam for Risk of Rain 2. If you just like cut off the actual title there and just showed the picture.
We could do that. We could do
I don't
that.
know.
All right.
We did one before where it was like the pixels are coming in slowly,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
and
also
you had to remove elements from those images.
Yeah. I have a version of that that's not pixels. It's based on just kind of like a blur. So it does a reverse blur on the image over time until it becomes more clear.
I like that.
Yeah.
We can do something like that. All right. I just don't
Anagrams.
like those because they're quiet. So maybe what I'll do is also put the main menu music.
Ooh. How about
Either or,
we watch the credits, a video of the credits for
Okay.
a video game, and have to guess what game it was.
You say this. I actually went through and looked to see how easy it would be to guess credits. It is like either instantly because it says like Red Dead Redemption 2 was
Yeah.
developed by, whatever, or it goes
It's
straight
impossible.
into like developers and executive producers and like no one you've ever heard of. You're like, oh, video game industry. And a lot of times it's on a black screen or like a black screen with some sort of like
Have
visual elements that don't tie into the game whatsoever.
You gotta go further down into the credits where they start listing weird titles, like on Red Dead Redemption, where it's like horse specialist.
Yeah.
have we done segments of like videos, like parts of cutscenes?
I was about to
Oh.
say like quotes, like famous quotes from games.
You could do character names as well, maybe.
You grab
Probably not
video
protagonists,
cuts
but-
of us talking about the game in a previous forecast episode, and then make us guess
That's
what we were
good.
talking about.
Oh my
God.
god. The
You just
amount
can't use
of effort that would
I
take.
know.
you
Goodness
can't use any
gracious.
of your own though because they're terrible descriptions. So I'm sorry.
I can't use my own descriptions.
Yeah,
It's me talking. Tell me what I'm talking about. Okay.
Just
All
the
right, I'll
beginning
think
of
about it.
Whipple every time, but you cut off where we say the title.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a roguelike deck builder.
You gotta listen
All
to
right.
how good the mic quality is so you can
Have we
remember
done
when
sound
it was.
effects?
We have done sound effects. That's what we did the very
Yeah.
first time.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that was
Sound
that was
effects
cool.
good.
Sound effects was great because that's the only episode I won.
All right. Let's move on to Chad's community conversation primer. What do we got this week? Any interesting
Yeah.
questions? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a thematic with something that we're going to talk about. little arcane action since that's come out. The question is for the cast: if you could live in Piltover or Zon, which would you choose and why?
Ooh,
Do you need-
I'll
do you
be
need
right
those
back
defined?
since I haven't watched Arcane, so I'm just gonna,
I mean, I
I'm gonna go
think,
use the restroom, get another beer. I'll you guys have fun chatting.
I think the real easy answer is Piltover, yeah.
Mm,
Really?
Just for like
Think
quality
so?
of life reasons.
yeah. When it comes to like smog and stuff like that, not a fan.
Yeah.
I'd be in Piltover.
So
Man.
it's just you're picking Piltover specifically because of the air quality,
Yeah.
air
Yeah.
quality index.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, all
I
right.
feel like it's also technically safer up there, but you know.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah, almost certainly.
I think Zon is cool though because it's got that like just vibey vibe of just the people hanging out together, just really close, and it's that small town kind of feel, that, like everybody's got each other's back kind of feel. It's not all about the elites and stuff.
Sure.
Except for
I
those
mean,
bar
sure, quality of life
fights
sucks, but
and the essentially mafia.
Yeah. Everybody has seemingly lost limbs somehow
Mm-hmm.
and had to have them replaced.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many shots in Arcane of just like homeless people in rags on the street, or
yeah, you just gotta not be that.
you just gotta not be that. I mean, your question is, do you want to live in a ghetto, probably in poverty, or do you want to live in like an upscale neighborhood?
No, you got to imagine that you have the same income, the same access to things
Yeah,
in
sure,
both
yeah.
locations. So one, you'll probably do fairly okay. The other one, you may struggle to
Die.
get by.
Maybe you could be a helper in Zon if you had the elite income and you're down there just like supporting the community.
There's not a lot of those in Arcane. Most of the people that have a lot of money are, not exactly helping the poor
Mhm,
in
For
that
sure.
show.
mhm.
For sure.
So is this a unanimous vote for Piltover?
Did you say Piltover?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said Zon. I think it'd be cool.
Oh, you did say Zon. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell if you were just playing devil's advocate or if that was your certainly that was your answer. All right.
Do I think it's the best living situation? No, but gotta live a little and die
Yeah.
fast, I guess.
Are you with Caitlin still? Because she's not letting you live there.
Oh, I mean, this wasn't a what would Kate and I choose. If it was a Kate and I choose, then obviously
She's gonna be
Piltover.
like, this house has like bugs in it, dude. We can't live here.
Well,
You're gonna see a centipede one time and be like, that's it. We're going to Piltover.
oh boy.
All right, cool. 3 Piltover, 1 Zon. Got it. Excellent. Thank you for that community conversation, Bremer. That was, I think, the quickest decision from a poll question we've ever had.
Yeah, sometimes you need them quick.
Yeah, that's right. Let's move on to some news-related things. I did want to start this off with Steam's new season pass policy that they've issued. Caleb, you want to walk us through this?
Yeah.
But you said you wanted to start it off.
Well, yeah, I want to start off by bringing up the topic,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to let Caleb introduce it.
Okay.
Because I have-
Okay.
You cut out.
I'm about to say
entirely
our
there.
noise did
But-
not like your whispers.
Yes! I have no idea what Caleb's about to say, so.
Great.
Mm.
Well, in typical, but still somehow surprising, consumer-forward fashion, Valve has put out a new policy about Season Pass that basically requires developers to specify what's going to be in the Season Pass, what's going to be in each DLC for a Season Pass, and the expected release date, and has specified that they can delay the DLC once up to 3 months, but that is it. And after that, they will give refunds back to consumers for the equivalent cost of the missing DLC, the undelivered DLC. Which I think is really cool.
Delay for 3 months? That's it?
Yeah. So if they specify, they can only put it up if they specify a release date, and if they don't meet that, they can delay it once up to 3 months. But that is it.
I,
And they
I'd
say
like-
if you don't have a release date to specify, then you shouldn't be putting out a season pass.
my favorite thing about this that I saw was a comment saying, very brave of Valve, of all people, to put out a rule about having to hit deadlines.
It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
They just never announce a deadline, so they don't have to hit one.
Yeah, correct.
I feel like this is going to entice companies to be like, oh, our game came out in 2024. The DLC will come out in like 2028, but then they'll like release like the DLC or whatever in like 2025 or something. But like they give themselves like a ton of runway with like saying, hey, like,
They could, but then people wouldn't be expecting it, a year before it actually releases.
yeah.
Do you think this also like inadvertently relieves some of the pressure? I mean, if this were to be like more game service providers like Steam, like maybe all the online game stores started doing something similar like Epic. Do you think it would put more pressure on the game developers to like ensure that their game was prepped before they made an announcement, or ensure that they didn't go through like crazy, 14, 16-hour work days, like, just the press right at the end?
I mean, that's the game crunch isn't gonna change.
It'll
based
never
on
change.
this. That's for sure. But I don't know. I think the first couple games from here on out that companies put out, this isn't going to change anything. But once they get hit with a bunch of refunds for DLC they didn't release on time, I think they might
Do you think
change
this
their
is
strategy.
Do you think this is going to incentivize companies to be less willing to push back release dates in terms of like, oh man, this is taking longer than we thought. I don't think that this DLC is finished, but we don't want refunds, so we'll just release it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible.
Or you just
Just
release
to, just to be devil's advocate,
No,
I
yeah.
don't think that's going to be the norm by any chance, but
I'm sure that will happen.
Or you just release a completely broken DLC that doesn't work whatsoever and be like, hey, we got a patch coming out in 4 months.
Risk of Rain 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to. I'm sure that's going to come up for a few games at least, that they're going to push DLC that's not ready. But I think that's going to be reflected pretty quickly in reviews. So I think they're going to have to deal with that as well.
Well, good luck. I don't know what games that affects really. Games as a service things primarily, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Remnant, because Remnant has a season pass that had 3 DLCs in it. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
And all were delayed.
I think two of the 3 were delayed. I think.
Interesting. Okay. Alex, let's talk about video game layoffs. I know you have some really sad news for us as per usual.
Yeah, we just haven't talked about it in a while, so I wanted to just touch base and
Make us all
remind us
sad.
that everything is terrible.
Yep.
just make sure
Cool.
we're still aware of the ongoing issue. Last big thing that we talked about was Concord shutting down officially by Sony, and they've shut down the studio as well, Firewalk Studios. So that was 174 jobs there that were gone, and then since then we've gotten a couple of big ones, like NCSoft laid off like 500 people. That's like distributor for like Guild Wars and Throne of Liberty and stuff like that.
Yeah, Throne of Liberty didn't do too hot, huh?
It seemed like it was doing all right. I don't know.
Hmm.
Don't know what's up with that. Heart Machine lost 8 positions, which is, I don't know, somewhat concerning to me, even though it's only a few jobs, but they're trying to put out Hyper Light Breaker. And that's been delayed a couple times, so I'm worried about that project, because that is something I'm really excited for. Yeah, several other smaller game studios have laid off some people. We're at an estimated total of 14,000 layoffs in the year of 2024.
And that is more than 2023, correct?
Yeah, I think we talked months ago about how we caught up already. Last year we laid off 10,500 positions. So another 14,000 this year.
Okay.
It seems like in the second half of the year it has slowed a bit,
Yeah.
less huge
Somewhat.
layoffs, but because like we were almost caught up in like the first like 4 months of the year.
It was pretty
So
rapid.
It's only
I do
been
remember
a
that.
few thousand since then, but a few thousand. That's a lot.
Also in studio related news, Sony is intending to buy FromSoft. What?
Yeah, it's not big news. It's basically there was rumor around it. It's been confirmed that technically FromSoft's parent company, Kadokawa, has basically come out and confirmed that they are in talks with Sony right now about how Sony is reaching out in attempts to purchase Kadokawa, which does own FromSoft. They haven't really said anything other than they're talking about it right now, but it has been confirmed that they're talking about it. That's all I got.
find it interesting in this because Kadokawa owns 70% of the company, but Sony already owns 14% of
Correct.
FromSoft, and Tencent owns 16%
Of course,
FromSoft.
Tencent's in on it.
Right? Of course. Got their hands on everything.
Mm-hmm. But,
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know
Well-
how that's going to make changes for FromSoft games. I know you
Man,
guys
Sony's
are
been-
big FromSoft fans. I don't really.
And Sony's been making a lot of mistakes lately.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm working
That's not
on
exciting.
beating Elden Ring right now, so like obviously I follow FromSoft a bit, but
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought you beat it.
it's I'm on the DLC. It's-
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah. Got it.
give me
Got
like
it.
another 2 days.
You got it. No problem.
Do you think if Sony does buy FromSoft, their first big release would be Bloodborne 3 or Bloodborne 2? I mean, why did I say 3? Or a remaster of Bloodborne? Since that's kind of the thing that's keeping Bloodborne away is Sony.
Man, that would be nice. I'd love to play it on PC.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Be nice.
maybe. Okay. That may end up being sad. Hopefully not. Hopefully FromSoft is still able to do exactly what they've always been able to do, which is develop and make excellent games. We'll see. We should talk about a excellent release from a company that has had fine releases throughout the years, which is Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which, Alex, I'm just going to read exactly what you wrote here, which is in quotes, biggest Call of Duty ever.
Yeah.
Like
What they say?
in terms of like hard drive size or like
Probably.
In terms of player engagement.
Player
Mm.
engagement.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Speak to me.
So
Yeah. having
Uh,
extra buttons.
this is the first Call of Duty that came out on Game Pass, of course.
Mm.
So a lot less barrier to entry. And that seems to have caused some records to happen in terms of their engagement numbers in the first 30 days of Call of Duty launch. So there's a bunch of quotes from people. It says, launch of Black Ops 6 is the biggest Call of Duty release ever, setting a record for day one players as well as Game Pass subscriber ads on launch day. They also say that their PlayStation and Steam unit sales are up over 60%.
Wow.
There is this quote from Matt Piscatella, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He works for a research firm for video games, Circana, and he says that Call of Duty engagement following the release of Black Ops 6 can only be defined as the term, quote, bonkers. We've yet to see anything like it on our engagement tracking data. And then he said, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to Game Pass did a few things in the US. It resulted in a subscription spending boost. It shifted the share of full game sales to PlayStation. And it did not appear to result in any massive cannibalization of sales, or did it appear to significantly boost Xbox Series hardware sales. So people who are outright buying the game, more of them are on PlayStation now. I feel like that was the case before, but it's shifted even more in that way. And then it's also not causing Xbox hardware sales to go up. So like, I don't know if like it's just already people that have a Xbox console and or PC people that are hopping on Game Pass to get it. But I think the biggest piece of information to come out of this is that it's not cannibalizing sales. So their sales seemed normal for a game that didn't come out on Game Pass, but they just also had a bunch of engagement from people on Game Pass.
That's pretty
That's
crazy.
interesting.
I mean, we've talked in the past about how Call of Duty's as a sort of media franchise is almost the equivalent size of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, in terms of people interested in this content, it's obviously very high. What I'm intrigued is if that player base, because they're saying their sales are still what they would expect for this game, does that mean that it's like an more easy to access game for people who may not want to pay $60-$70 for a AAA title, and instead they're going to go the Game Pass route, and so that's the people they're getting, the I don't know,
it just
low
seems like
propensity gamer, we'll call them.
they're accessing new customers rather than moving current customers to Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, they got me on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Play it.
Heck yeah.
I haven't played Call of Duty in I don't know how long. Black Ops 2.
That's been a second.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's a really good point.
Wow. Good for them. We'll talk about Black Ops 6 a little bit later when we talk about Bipple, but good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, before we get into the Game Awards nominations, I see you last minute put in something in here that I have not had a chance to even Google.
Sorry.
But
I had
no
it.
Dragon Age remaster is what is written.
I had it. It's again another little note, but I had it further down. And I realized we should just get it out of the way before we get into the really big story. But mostly just a funny interview I saw with some of the people at BioWare. But basically, when they were asked, "Do you foresee us ever getting a Legendary Edition like remaster or something of the original Dragon Age?" They said that's extremely unlikely, given there's only about maybe 20 people still at BioWare that understand how the engine worked in the old Dragon Age games.
Wow.
And I was
That's
just
crazy.
like, "Wow, okay." Didn't know that they had changed up their team that much, but I guess. When did Origins come out? A while ago, right?
Listen,
Like 15 years ago or something.
if
Yeah.
the Blade Runner game tells me anything, it's that people can easily take old code and create a new game out of it, and it'll be very successful. So I think they could just hire a bunch of people to reverse engineer it, Ben.
Almost exactly 15 years ago, Alex.
Nice.
You were off by about 22 days.
Wow.
Impressive. Okay.
Yeah. That was it. Just found it entertaining.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. All right, let's talk about Game Award nominations. Boy, where to even start? I'm going to start with this. I think just in general, the Game Awards is something we obviously all pay attention to every year because it's one of the bigger game awards. That's really stupid to say it that way, but that's correct.
Yeah.
The Game Awards is one of the bigger Game Awards shows that we watch, and a lot of times agree to at least a percentage of categories of awards that they give out, and maybe sometimes the nominations. My first thought after seeing everything that's come out is, when is somebody on our podcast going to play Astrobot? Because it's in so many categories that
Alex, have you not played it?
Yeah, me, Caleb, and Jacob played it.
Is that
Oh,
on
you guys
PC?
have
We've
talked.
talked about
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Is that a
I
PC
just don't
game?
remember.
I actually picked it up
PS5.
because Alex
I don't
has
have
it.
PS5.
And I started playing it
Yeah, it's
because
a
Alex
PS5
has it, and Alex and I are doing the trade, the account trade or whatever. So
Well, this is how much I pay attention to you guys when we podcast, so I didn't even know you played it. But good for you.
It
also
was one of
been
the episodes you were out that we talked about it.
gone.
Oh,
For a long
okay.
time.
Probably.
Got it. I was gone for a while. All right. Let's just run through this real quick. I just want to talk about Game of the Year to start this off. Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantasio. Thoughts on some of the inclusions here for Game of the Year?
Any in
Wait.
particular you're asking about?
Shadow of the Erd Tree is not a game.
Yeah.
That one, maybe?
Maybe that one. Maybe that one. Mhm.
Yeah,
I'll-
that feels like an odd choice.
I mean, Elden Ring already won Game of the Year in 2022. It's
Yeah.
been 2 years. We have a new DLC. Sure. Is it longer than... Well, actually, I don't know if it's longer than any of the games in this. How long is Black Myth Wukong? How long to beat?
Hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure the DLC for Shadow of the Erd Tree is like 30 hours. So maybe it is actually longer than at least one of the titles in here. But still,
36 hours.
it is
Main
a DLC that is existing in the Game of the Year category, which immediately sparked conversation in our group because there's always a concern, not a consensus about how exactly we're going to approach various types of games releases during the year when we go to vote on our Game of the Year. Are you guys okay with this?
No.
I don't really like it.
No.
I feel like they should have a category for expansions / DLCs.
Mhm.
They do. It's called Best Ongoing Game, and
There
it's
is also
already
Best
got a
Ongoing,
category.
Yeah,
Man, I hate that category title though.
it's
Uh,
not
It's
a
dumb.
great
Don't
category.
get me wrong, it's dumb. but
Cyberpunk
that's where it should
2077
go.
won last year, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah.
even think DLCs are ongoing. That's just
It doesn't really
Yeah.
feel like
No,
a
that's a
boring
Cyberpunk.
game to me.
ongoing to me is like a live service game, like Destiny
Yeah.
2
Destiny,
or
some with
Fortnite or
seasons, yeah.
yeah,
I think
Apex
them
Legends
putting
or
Cyberpunk in it last time was a big mistake. I think that made
So-
no sense.
The only reason I can try to argue Cyberpunk being in there is because they literally week to week were releasing updates constantly. So they were like really trying, like, I mean, they went from a 1.0 to a 2.0. So like that's the only, like, I don't think it should have been in there, but I feel like that is better than some other things that are in a best ongoing category.
I have one other take on Game of the Year options that probably I think I'm going to get some disagreements on.
Mhm.
While I think it's fun, I feel weird about Balatro being in there.
I would agree that I don't think it really
Like-
deserves.
It's
Being in Game of the
don't get me
Year.
wrong. I think it's a fun game, but it's very tiny. It's not. I'm not using the right words for it, but I don't know if you guys get the same vibe I'm saying of like it's a little indie game, and it's not to say indie games can't have Game of the Year, but I don't know. It just seems not really up to snuff with all the other nominees. Like,
Yeah.
the only reason I could see it being there is just number of players, but I mean that's just the nature of it being on every platform, including mobile, and
No kidding.
it's easy to get into. I don't know.
I kind of don't understand how Balatro took everybody by storm.
Like, it's good. I'm not saying it's not good. I don't think it's like, oh shit, everybody's going insane over
It's
it.
like fairly simple though,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I feel like
think
it,
it's just
it
easily
gets
accessible.
old pretty quick. I think.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But then there's other people that I hear like, oh yeah, I had to go through and win with like every deck type, and it's like, okay, yeah, sure. Why?
Other than that, I'm looking at this and realizing other than Balatro, I have not played any of the Game of the Year nominees. So I should probably, get on that.
I personally don't think Wukong really deserves a spot up here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's good, but I don't know. It has a enormous overseas audience, so I wonder if they're trying to.
Something that confuses me about Game of the Year is like Soccer just came out. So why is that not like they waited for like why did they do it so early that like they don't have games
think
that are
Yeah, I think it's kind of like just because this is the best time of the year for them to do it, and so
Yeah,
their
okay.
calendar year runs. I don't know if it's like November to November or like November to October or something. So it's gonna
Something
miss
like that.
everything these last 2 months.
There actually is like a cutoff date that there's like some 2023 games that could be considered for this year. This was after the cutoff date.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Stalker
pretty
will be
weird,
in it
though.
for next year. If it deserves anything, I don't know for sure yet.
Sure,
Do you
sure.
Do you think? I mean, like, I think a lot of people will talk about primarily Silent Hill 2 remake didn't make this list. There are people who talk about
Oh,
Stellar
yeah.
Blade not making this list.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of out there about the comments out there about the Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, which I don't think any of
Mhm.
us have really played, but is like incredibly well received. All snubbed over a DLC.
Yeah.
And a game again. Card game. I mean, cool. Don't get me wrong. I taking the internet by storm, but
Yeah. I mean, you'll
We
probably
also-
hear me say it multiple times. I'm also upset that I don't see in any of the categories Satisfactory didn't get anywhere.
Hmm.
Which
When was it 1.0? Was it too recent?
1.0 was this year. It released
'Cause it could have been after the date. it was that
September
recent.
10th.
Okay, probably not.
And it's currently the fourth highest rated game on Steam that got released this year.
Mm.
Wait, could
Balatro
it-
is third, so it is behind Balatro, I suppose, but it's number 4 released this year on Steam.
Could it just be that Satisfactory has technically been out for so long that they just didn't really think about it being 1.0 and
because it's been in beta for
yeah,
like
it's
a couple
I mean,
years.
yeah.
Listen, apparently they don't care about that crap.
Yeah,
They'll
I
just
think they've done- I
renominate it
feel
when
like-
it comes out.
Yeah,
yeah. hit us
I
with
feel
that
like
one,
they've
Al.
done this before, where they've nominated a game that's been in beta for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think
So,
of one handy right now.
Yeah,
but
my other issue with the list this year is 2 years ago, Multiverses won Best Fighting Game while it was in beta.
Untrue.
No way.
Yeah, and now it came out fully this year, and it is nominated for Best Fighting Game.
Oh my, that's even more of a
that is kind
party
of
foul. Stop
infuriating.
that. No. Slap back the hand. Stop it.
There's
I
like
was
no
also-
way it wins this year against its competition, but it would be so funny if it won 2 different years.
Best fighting game of the year, 2 years.
I don't know. I just don't know how they can. They just go by like. There's like a panel that nominates stuff, right? Probably, and it's just like whatever the
Yeah.
panel puts forward. I guess we'll take it. Everybody said Shadow of the Erd Tree, so it's on the list.
Best community support, guys. Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, the ongoing category and the community support category bothers me because I don't. They're like kind of the same category.
I would argue
Ongoing,
the same for Game of the Year and Best Game Direction. They're essentially, they're
could-
so similar.
I would say
I mean, they have the exact same games.
community
Yeah.
support.
This year they do.
Community support and ongoing game, I could see being good categories if they were defined better. Because there are games that I can think of as being particularly good with community support. And like ongoing, like Chad said earlier, makes sense if you confine it to like, games that release updates on a regular basis effectively. Not just like, oh man, we released a big DLC. Like, I don't know, on like a bi-monthly or like quarterly, something like that basis. But it's just not defined like whatsoever.
Alex, I was going to ask, do you think that Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 deserves a Best Narrative nomination after your review of the game when you played it?
I don't know if it gets best narrative. It needs like a technical award, I think. for
Best
like
technical direction?
for just like graphics fidelity and performance capture fidelity and audio design are all like super crazy, like out of their league in that game.
It's up for Best Actor, right?
It's up for Best
What they
Audio
call it?
Design and Best Performance, I think.
Performance.
Yeah,
Best
Also,
performance. Yeah, it'll probably win best performance, I'd guess.
Does it feel weird to anybody else that 2 of the games that are nominated for best narrative are just remakes of older games? Like that feels a little weird.
Yeah, it feels weird for narrative, huh?
Yeah, like other categories I could see being fine. Narrative? Like that narrative's been around for a while.
Like Silent Hill 2 coming in and not getting Game of the Year because it's like I could see it being put in Game of the Year, but not narrative almost.
Yeah, like that
No,
would
it's
make
like
more
a
sense
remake.
to me.
To like revamp the entire game.
At least
but it's the
Final
same
Fantasy,
story.
like they changed it up. Like, they added a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
Like they made it a little worse. That's different.
Like it plays completely differently.
Yeah. I don't know Silent Hill 2 well enough to know how much they changed it up from the original. I just assumed they didn't much.
I was a little. I was happy to see Helldivers in multiple categories. I think it's deservedly in multiple categories. I think it
hyped for
honestly
that.
could
I
have
don't
made more. Best ongoing game, best community support, best action game, best multiplayer game. That's a lot of nominations for a game that when the first game came out, how many people were playing that game? Like 15,000 or something?
Yeah.
30,000?
Yeah, it was a
I
big
don't
deal
know.
when it first released.
I think, and in terms of just uniqueness, I think they did something that not a lot of other games were, which was this sort of grand overarching strategy that constantly changed the way you play the game, which, I mean, when's the last time you played anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite's like the big one for
Yeah.
that, right?
Yep.
Constantly evolving game.
I don't know.
I'm surprised Warhammer got nominated for anything.
Yeah.
Best action game.
I mean, if
Space
there's
Marine
anywhere
2?
to put it, that would be the place to go.
Yeah,
Action
that
game.
is the place. It's a lot of fun, but it feels like a 360 era game.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun because of that. In a lot of ways.
Now, Chad, do you think Diablo 4 deserves to win Best Ongoing Game?
I haven't really looked at it lately, but it's supposedly updates are actually decent.
Really?
That's what I've
Actually
heard from
listening
my
to the
friends who
community
play
now.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got some friends who've been playing it. Said since like the second update, it's gotten significantly better.
Yeah.
If you were gonna vote, though, I'm assuming you're like, yeah, Destiny 2, they did a great job this year with the DLC, and I feel like it just landed. Or do you think something else in here is
I think I voted Final Fantasy, to be completely honest with you.
really?
Because I feel like Destiny 2, the final shape slapped, but they've given us like I don't know if you guys have actually like seen what's been happening with Destiny 2's like content releases that they're doing, like the seasonal stuff. But they opened up you can just play Act 1 from start to finish day 1. Like there's no time gating. You just play the story at your leisure. That was 45 minutes of play. And it's like, I don't understand how 45 minutes of play was going to expand over like the 9 weeks or 16 weeks, however many weeks of Tuesdays. Like it doesn't make sense. Like, and people are saying, well, there's no bloat of like having to go to the helm, having to do like 3 strikes, it's like, well, add more then, because there's nothing here. Like I've completed everything within 45 minutes and I am now done with Destiny. Like I don't need to touch it again until the next act drops. So to me, like Destiny 2 is not best ongoing right now. Dungeon was great, the final shape was great, but that's about where it stops.
Yeah,
like that's
okay.
it.
Okay.
While Final Fantasy, I feel like maybe I'm biased because of my wife, but the content that I'm hearing from that is like people love the content. There's a lot of it. There's it's good stuff. The reason I wouldn't say Fortnite, Diablo, or Helldivers is because I feel like Fortnite's the same formula all the time. So like I think it's a great phenomenal. It's a game that will stay around forever, but I don't think it needs to be a best ongoing game winner. Diablo is kind of just shaky. Helldivers 2, I feel like because of the Sony kind of
Yeah,
controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's why Final Fantasy 14 needs to take my vote.
Okay. Anything you guys think out of these nomination categories, anything you think is just like a pure standout, there's no way it doesn't win situation?
If Stellar Blade doesn't win score, I'm going to be very upset.
It is such a good score.
Oh my gosh. It's
That's-
so, the
I think
music
it's
is
the one
so
game-
good.
That I actually have the music turned up over everything.
I could probably see
Is-
Final Fantasy.
I feel like it'll probably lose to Final Fantasy, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm probably going to be upset about it. Really upset about it.
What
Wait,
what's
when
best score
was
in music?
Caleb? When was the cutoff
Final
for
Fantasy, yeah.
the release?
I'm not sure.
I don't
Because
know.
Dragon Age: The Veilguard is on here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
It's only an
Satisfactory
innovation
made,
in accessibility, but it is on here.
definitely Satisfactory made it into the running.
Yeah.
But
Also, I don't know.
Star Wars Outlaws has a couple nominees on here, which is crazy to me.
I was unaware that they made a Knuckles TV show.
Man, I thought for sure Animal Well was just going to come out with the independent game winnings, but Balatro...
Balatro, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Animal Well is 34 megabytes, and it is
Yeah.
an absolute masterpiece.
Also,
How is it not up there? And
best
Balatro
independent
is.
game, Balatro, that's where it belongs. Not overall game of the year, best
Yeah.
indie game. It can go
Well-
there. That's good. I feel like.
I feel like that's putting indie games in a box, and like honestly, having indie games able to achieve Game of the Year is something that I think is necessary for.
No, they should be able to. I'm not
Yeah.
arguing they shouldn't.
Hmm.
It's more, I don't think Balatro is good enough to justify Game of the Year. Not because
Sure.
it's an indie game, just that particular one.
Take
It could be
Balatro
they
out
just
of Game
want
of the
to
Year,
have-
but Knights.
An indie in there,
Yeah,
just for representation of indies.
Satisfactory's around. I don't know.
Did you say 9 Souls, Alex?
Yeah,
Which didn't get nominated for anything?
for anything.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that?
That's upsetting.
I think it
I
just
mean-
flew under the radar or something.
Yeah.
The standout things for me, I would guess, I really think Arcane's going to win Best Adaptation.
100%.
I mean, it
I
should.
haven't even watched season 2. I don't know how anything else in this beats it. I mean, Fallout was good, but there's just no way.
Oh, it doesn't stand a chance, man.
There's no
Fallout-
way.
Fallout was just another like good job at making a video game
Yes.
show that
Yes.
like
Yeah.
is actually good kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like,
I was really happy to see Frostpunk 2 in Best Sim Strategy. Honestly, I
Yeah.
think it could win, especially considering what it's up against. Um,
Oh, you know
So-
what the easiest category
I-
is?
Need to check out Age of Mythology still.
is it the
but-
fighter?
Tekken 8.
Easiest category is most anticipated game.
Oh, God.
Grand Theft Auto 6 will
Oh, 100%.
undoubtedly win.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You notice
There's a
what's
lot of
not in here?
Nintendo fans out there who've been waiting on a Metroid Prime game for
Doesn't
fair.
matter.
Metroid Prime could be
years.
Yeah, I don't matter.
Also, can I
Anybody
say
notice anything missing from most anticipated game? Anything in particular?
Oh, yeah.
Some song, maybe?
Focus on it. It's because it didn't qualify to get put on the list because it's going to shadow drop during the conference.
Oh, my God. I would lose my mind.
Also, can I say maybe it's just me? A, I think it's funny that Overwatch isn't in best esports game at all, and B,
Oh my gosh.
I've never heard of Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
What
I haven't
does
either.
anybody know what that is?
it's got to be a mobile knockoff of League of Legends that's in China only or something.
Like,
Yeah, I've never heard
at
of
least
that.
most of the games on here, I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't played it, but I recognize that.
Mobile Legends.
It does
Bang
look
Bang.
like a knockoff of League of Legends for mobile.
Man, honestly, out of this, either League of Legends because of Arcane or Valorant is probably gonna win it.
It's League gear.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think so?
League's had a huge resurgence on Twitch.
Okay.
It shouldn't.
Arcane came out. Faker got his 5th world championship, I think.
Oh, yeah, I
Gosh,
voted for Faker.
that guy.
Man, remember,
So
remember when
Playmaker.
Dota was big, too?
yeah,
No.
What?
so it's gonna be League, Faker, and T1 for like best game athlete and team esports.
I also did want to point out a game that I'm almost certain that nobody has still played. Indica got a nomination for Games for Impact.
Yeah.
You
I
feel
saw
good about
that in
yourself,
there.
Aaron?
I do. That game freaking solid, dude.
You're like, finally, I went and found some weird obscure game, and I'm people like it.
Bro,
Vindication.
there's weird obscure games. There's Indica. It is not just a weird obscure game. It is a strange journey. I don't even know what the intent of that game is. It's
Aaron,
strange.
We get
Bizarro.
it. You're a hipster. You don't have to defend yourself. It's fine.
Where's my stock? Where's my beanie? Anyway, Game Awards. Yeah. Yeah. Get out of there, DLC. That's my last word.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
agree.
It doesn't belong in the game of the year category. It can go in other categories. I'm okay with
Because
that.
I'm
Not Game of the
legitimately
Year.
worried. Yeah, I'm legitimately worried it's gonna win Best RPG also, which
Yeah.
is annoying for the same reason.
I think
Well,
whoever said this first, maybe it was Chad, but whoever said they just need an independent category specifically for DLC and expansion.
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
think
Be the
that's a
best
great
way to go.
idea because then you can include things like
The final shape.
the final shape,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of like most anticipated DLC, it's probably up there. Like the culmination of a multi-year, multi-arc, crazy story in the Destiny universe. Yeah, probably up there. I bet, and a lot of people were really happy with that DLC. I think that would be a great spot to include. Oh, let's make a new category. We'll include Shadow of the Erd Tree. We'll include Final Shape. I'm sure there's other DLCs that came out this year that also were like equally well received, and that could fill up a category of 6 games that people could vote on. I don't know.
You know, My other issue with this list is like, again, we should still allow indie games in the game of the year, I guess. But then there's all these indie specific categories that are just like Balatro should just
debut
automatically win now, right?
Best
Yeah.
indie.
If it's competing for actual game of the year,
Yeah.
and then you put it up against a bunch of other indie titles, it should just auto win.
Man, yeah.
That's always going to be an issue for game of the year in any other category.
Yeah.
Whatever
So,
wins game of the
do
year
you-
should win any other category it's in. Will
Do you
it?
think that enough people are kind of thinking the way we're thinking, though, about, like, for instance, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, which is like, well, Elden Ring has won Game of the Year, so, like, a DLC shouldn't win. Some other game should win this.
I think
Yeah, maybe.
I think a lot of the internet's upset that
yeah.
the DLC was included in Game of the Year category.
Yeah, I think
I
a
don't
lot of the internet is, but it doesn't really come down to just internet voting, right? It's mostly
mean-
panel-driven voting, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying. I think in general the consensus feels like that people are thinking, "Why is this here? This should either be excluded or we should find another spot to put it," because it is an excellent game, well, an excellent expansion in this case,
Right.
but it's not worthy of what these other games did, and also not worthy of games that could have been in this category but were not because it's filling up a spot.
Going back to what Caleb said, like other games that are in Game of the Year, you can have other categories that are specific to a specific thing that maybe that Game of the Year didn't do the best out of everything that year. Like maybe the Game of the Year that wins didn't have the absolute best story, so it doesn't win best narrative. But like as a whole package, it's the best game.
Holistically.
The problem with the indie categories is they're also holistic categories.
Yes. It's they could have just call it Game of the Year and then in parentheses indie. Game of the Year
Yeah.
AAA. Game of the Year indie. I don't know.
I mean, from my viewpoint, like, Game of the Year, if Balatro won this, I don't know if I'd also vote Balatro for Best Indie. Just because in the back of my mind, I'd be like, well, it's already going to win Game of the Year. So, like, why not give a different game, the best independent game?
It seems like a weird decision though, right? Because then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is the Game of the Year, but in its specific smaller subcategory, it shouldn't
It
win.
lost.
Yeah. That seems so strange. I mean, I get your point because it's a panel. And
Right.
as the panel itself, they can be like, well, we're going to award this Game of the Year, but we feel like something else should win in these other two
We wanna
categories.
Spread out recognition.
It just, I don't know. It's going to seem convoluted if that's the case. I just anticipate it does not win Game of the Year, and it wins both
not?
Best Debut Indie and Best Indie.
What does everybody think takes the Game of the Year category? 'Cause I don't know.
I mean, if you ask the internet, it's Astrobot, hands down,
Oh yeah.
no challenge.
That's so funny.
I'm legitimately worried it will be Shadow of the Erdtree, and I don't want it to be.
I think it won't be Shadow of the Erdtree.
I think it will be Rebirth.
You think?
I hope it's going to be Rebirth.
I think it's going to be Rebirth.
I think it could be Metaphor.
You think so? I don't think it's got that kind of
Uh,
backing. No.
So the only reason I would say that it's probably not going to be Rebirth is because I feel like Final Fantasy's remakes have been very niche for people. Like, it's not a large scale, like, lots of people are playing it. Like, they've even come out and claimed that it didn't sell as well as, they hoped it would. I
yeah,
don't
the
know
first
if-
remake got some backlash, didn't it? About a lot of people didn't like it very much.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Am I misremembering?
I
I
know,
might be misremembering then.
I know that there's a lot that can go into the sales value, though, which is like, I think there was like a package deal where you can buy both at the same time. Also, PlayStations weren't being found. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on there.
It might just be Astrobot.
I've only played the first, like, quote unquote world of Astrobot. I think it's clever, but I would not. I mean, maybe this is just my own bias of not really liking that style of game, but it's just kind of a bootleg Mario 64 or whatever. Caitlin came downstairs, saw me playing it. She's like, "Are you just Are you just playing like a knockoff Mario? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it deserves to be on the same footing as like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which maybe that could have deserved. Yeah, I don't remember when that came out. I don't know if Game Awards were even saying when Odyssey came out. Probably.
you guys have played pretty far into Astrobot, right? Is there just like uber fun to be had that like it just isn't in the first?
You
Level.
sound so.
It's all going to be pretty similar to the first world.
Okay, I was pretty
Just-
bored in the first world.
New gimmicks and more cameos, more references.
I think the one thing that I thought to myself was when I got to the boss, I was like, let me just play an entire game of just this. Like, I just want the boss level, like in every like entire time.
Was the first world Ape Escape level?
Yeah.
Okay, the final level is better in basically all the other worlds,
Okay.
but just the final level. All the rest of it's going to be pretty similar.
I mean, I liked like you had to dash through like as he pushed things towards you. Like you had to dash through specific things. You had to like hit his teeth. Like all of that was kind of cool. But then the rest of it is just like, all right, I'm exploring this world, jumping up here, finding this, whatever they want, Astrobot. Like
That's most of it. Yeah.
the best part of the game is the fact that you go to the pause menu and you can launch your controller and have them all jump up.
Mm. Yeah, I think you have to like 3D platformers first,
Yeah.
and then after that, it's a mix of nostalgia bait and surprise at the new gimmicks that they throw at you constantly.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, Odyssey lost to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, I mean, that checks out.
Man, what
That
you
was the
just
same year?
described
Wow.
tells me that Astrobot is not going to be a game that I enjoy.
Right. No, for sure.
I mean, did you like Odyssey?
No.
Okay, you probably won't like
Yeah, you
that.
probably won't like it.
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's
I
mean,
didn't
it's
like
just not for
Astrobot.
me. I don't know.
think.
Watch Balatro win.
It could be a dark horse,
That'd be freaking wild.
and they just voted in because it's so quirky to vote for Balatro to win.
It could potentially be like, so Elden Ring deserved it, but also I feel like Elden Ring took the internet by storm when it came out.
Mhm.
Also, wasn't that around like kind of end of COVID time? Like we were still kind of in our
2022, yeah.
houses a little bit. All right, yeah. So it just took the internet by storm, though. I think Balatro is kind of a similar situation where it's just taking the internet by storm, where it's just like you see it everywhere right now. I mean, you got Dad and David start playing it like
Yeah.
that. Wild.
It's
stuff.
also it's also a game you can kind of play anywhere, right? Like you don't have to focus and sit in front of your computer. You can just pull
And
up your phone.
specifically, but
Now
on
that it's
mobile.
on mobile, it's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
like,
was
this would be a
kind of
great
destined to be a
game
mobile
to
game, I think.
play
It was
on the
big
plane or
before it
whatever.
was even on mobile, though.
Yep.
It had already kind of blown up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Best performance is definitely going to be Aerith.
Oh, you think?
I don't know. Life is. I didn't play Life is Strange, so I do
She
know
won't.
that Life is Strange has some good actors in it. So,
she won't win.
Alright. but then it's Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and Hellblade.
Hellblade, I think, will win.
It's
You
gotta
think
be
so?
that
I don't know
Hellblade
how it
action,
doesn't.
man.
I mean,
She's so
that's
good.
that's the whole reason people love Hellblade is their ability to motion cap her and her
Mm.
acting throughout the story. It's so unique.
Mhm.
Well, I guess we got the two there then. The
And
Rebirth or
Brianna
Hellblade.
White is a fan favorite, but like you said, it's maybe a more of a cult following.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just
I
know
think
that like Aerith is like the core to Final Fantasy when it comes to like why the story's so good. It's like
I still
She's
think
the girl with the bow in her hair.
Yeah.
I think Hellblade 2 is probably like the most technically advanced video game that exists right now.
sure, okay.
Oh, really?
Let's jump into film real quick before we hop into what you've been playing. Bipple action. We wanted to talk about Arcane because the final season is out. I don't know how much we want to talk about Arcane because I think there are multiple people who have not watched a lot of Arcane.
Some people that have ruined our ability to discuss Arcane.
Should,
Why
should I
not
just
watch
should I
it?
just leave for now?
I think Aaron
I have
hasn't seen it
also
either.
not watched it. I have not
I-
even been home to
Damn it,
watch it.
Caleb! It's all
I
your
specifically
Okay, Ben, who
wasn't
hasn't watched
gonna-
the first season.
I wasn't going to talk about any spoilers.
Okay.
I just wanted to say Arcane's, 3 acts are out. Act 1, 2, and 3, part 2. So season 2, whatever you want to call it. Season 2, full release out. They broke it up into 3 chunks of 3 episodes. Cool. I have opinions, so like when you guys do finish it, I feel like it would be great to talk about. Without spoiling anything, I feel like season 1 was like this masterpiece of just chef's kiss, just great story building, world building, character development, etc. Act 1 of season 2 kind of cherry on top, maybe even did even better. Halfway through Act 2 into Act 3, I feel like the NOS was hit, and I was just stupefied at like how storylines just dissolved, and it just went from like 0 to NASCAR speed racer from like 0.2 seconds. And so at the end, like after the like credits are rolling on the very last episode, I'm just like, it's a good show, but man, did they need more seasons, I think.
Which confuses me because they're like, oh yeah, it was always meant to be 2 seasons. This is the story we wanted to tell.
Did I see?
And at the same time, I finish it and I'm like, it really feels like they got canceled and had to wrap it up.
Did I see somewhere that they spent $250 million on the new season?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's wild.
So you kind of agree with my kind of synopsis there,
Oh, yeah.
Alex? Because like Act 1, man, it roped you in, and you were just like, "This is even better than season 1." And then, yeah, it just, I wanted
It's-
more of different various plot lines that just don't exist.
It's still like phenomenal and
Oh, for sure.
like a generational animation project. Like we
Mhm.
won't see anything like this until the next Spider-Verse comes out. But like, yeah, I'm not 100% satisfied. Technically, and production value, and technically, incredible. Some of the best
Yes.
animation, one of the best animation projects to ever exist.
I absolutely
maybe the best.
love, right. I absolutely love how they take it like, yeah, probably.
Better than Into the Spider-Verse.
Just to
At
stuff
least up
like,
there with it.
like all the stuff in the second Spider-Verse where they kept on like switching up styles, and it was
Yeah.
like
They do it even more in this.
it took it to like the next level
Yeah.
from the first
Ooh.
one. Like they
Oof.
do a bunch of that in this one too.
No wonder it cost $250 million to make this season.
There
It
are
is crazy
scenes where
cool.
it's legitimate just oil paintings in the background of just absolute glorious, spectacular detail. And then you have like a Arcane character in the foreground, and you're just like, it's just so, they're just so prominent in that. It just looks so good. And then
Like
also
they're in
when
the
they,
room with you.
yeah, so exactly. It's almost like you're watching 3D without watching 3D. When they go from different like frame styles, so like it'll drop down to like maybe I'm being exaggerating here, but at like 8 frames per second, and then it comes back to the full Arcane frames that they're using. It's just like, oh my god, like it's super hyper realistic now. Like this is crazy. Like I was just so
It's like
used to that.
they
8
do
frames.
it on purpose for an effect, and it
Yeah.
works 100% of the time.
It's so good. It's just so
Mm.
good.
Hmm.
But yeah, the storylines, that's where I
There's
kind
some
of.
narrative stuff that I'm like, what the heck? What happened?
Oh no.
Well, if you are listening to this and you've never seen original season of Arcane, go freaking watch it right now. It's
Ben,
I also texted Alex at one point and said maybe I should have watched, or maybe I told him on Mumble, but I feel like I should have rewatched season 1 before watching season 2. Because I feel like there was characters that popped in. Because it's like Game of Thrones. I mean, there's characters everywhere. And there's like storylines everywhere. And it's like, maybe you just need to go rewatch season 1 before watching season 2.
This is the whole Alex theory of watching a series, is that you wait until it's fully complete and then you can watch it, because then you can watch the
Watch it
entire
all
story
together.
from start to end.
Yeah.
Alex, did you watch season 1 right before watching season 2?
No, I went and watched a pretty extensive recap.
Yeah.
And
You
then
wish
watched
you'd
season
watched
two.
I probably should have done that.
I think the recap's fine.
Okay.
You know what it's time for?
Well, bip.
Well,
Pipple.
Whoa.
God.
All right, this is a family show, Chad.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Let's start with, as a group, 4 of us have been playing a
Super
new...
5.
Yep, nailed it.
I've never even heard of this game.
Chad, go ahead. Take it away. Describe this
Man,
game.
Alex, go ahead. Take it away. Describe this game.
Supervive is
Alex, you should have just pointed it at Caleb.
Caleb, do you want to describe it?
no.
Okay,
How about you,
Supervive
Ben?
is a
Yeah, I'll describe it.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
squad
Really,
based.
It's like take Vive, but like it's super.
Mm.
Super
Oh, man.
Vive.
It's so
But it's
good.
not a
Super
VR
vibe.
game, so that's
It's
weird.
actually the Vive,
Yeah.
but like way better.
I actually don't like the title.
Yeah, I don't.
Doesn't
really
make
know
any
what
sense.
Yeah.
It means.
Before I was in the alpha when they didn't have a title and it was just called Project Loki, and I thought that was cool. Anyway,
Meh.
it's a squad-based MOBA-esque battle royale. So squads of 2 or 4. You have a isometric perspective, and you have a hero and or champion, whatever you want to call them, that has like 4 abilities. And you drop onto a map and you try to find a couple of things. You want armor, you want a couple powers, but it's not like a crazy amount of looting, I don't think. And it's mostly about establishing ground and vision, and then getting in skirmishes and taking people out and
Yeah.
leveling up your characters and like farming PvE beasts to level up your characters.
No, when you say it's not a crazy amount of looting, I almost think that if you're base level, like to have no items, and you're going up against somebody who has like all the items, I still think you can outskill them and just land your stuff better and maneuver around them. It's not. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel that like the balance issue isn't there. I think maybe there's like some characters like, man, that dude hit me for 2 times and I hit like a truck, but then also that person, the shots are once per every 2 to 3 seconds, so it's like it makes sense that it hits like a truck. So I think there's a lot in this game that's like it works really well. Also, we've played other VR MOBAs before, and I feel like I've never grasped the concept of anything in it, and I've just been like, what's happening? I'm just dying instantly.
I think a lot of times it's because they're really dense.
Yeah.
This actually doesn't feel dense.
Yeah, no.
Like you jump into the game, you're like, I have a couple abilities. I was actually thinking about this earlier because I almost think you could jump into this game and play controller and not really have a problem.
Probably, yeah.
Like almost like a twin stick shooter kind of, except you have abilities on, some button somewhere. And you can function like I could imagine Derek playing this game and actually understanding like the core features of how he's supposed to interact with the game, interact with like the world and the characters and team fight.
We judge if a game is easy enough if Derek can understand
No,
it.
it's not how we judge it. It's how I judge whether or not it can be on a controller. Because imagine like any game that Derek's just a controller guy. Any game that you cannot play with a controller just inherently is like it doesn't feel as natural to him.
Uh-huh.
But this,
You
I
don't
think
feel
you
like
could.
Derek would be just falling in the abyss over and over?
Huh.
Well, that's a different story.
Yeah, I think there's just not a lot involved into it, and also like it was funny because there's multiple times where you guys would be like, "What's that over?" Oh, it's just an armory, because you like hover over it with your mouse,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to see like exactly what it is. So like it's very like I feel like the UI is very clear on what's happening, and I don't know, it didn't feel like it took you guys all that long to really grasp the concept of the game.
Caleb still doesn't know what's happening.
I felt like I was completely lost for like 3 games. And then I was like, okay, I kind of get it. And I mostly get it.
I also like in most MOBAs, in most BRs, rezzing your teammates is very one-dimensional, of just like, I'm gonna have to stand here for forever, not be able to move, not be able to attack. Like, but this one, it's like you could just stand on the body that'll res it, or you can go find a res beacon. And so there's actually strategies like throwing yourself off the map in order to res with your team across the map to get out of a fight.
So they made reviving really strong and gave you so many ways to do it, and then they named the game Supervive.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? Now it makes sense.
Don't like it.
I also enjoy the way that they give you new characters, which is pretty much you just do your dailies and weeklies, and you level up a free battle pass, and it gives you hero choices.
Yep.
And that's pretty cool.
Things that I think the game does well that like really make it accessible and interesting to me is I like the idea of floating islands with space in between, and how like one impact can make you just drop and you're insta-killed. It forces you to take combats, which is interesting, but it also forces you to understand map terrain, because a lot of times you can still jump and go over a chasm as long as there's something blocking, like a wall or, you know, like your up elevation or something. So there are ways around it, and it gives you that ability, but it forces you to have map awareness. I also really like the crouch mechanic, where if you're sneaking, you gain extra vision, which is a really cool idea. A lot of games I feel like really focus on this is the perspective you have as the player, and that is all you get. Think about Dota. Like, you don't zoom in, zoom out. This is the perspective. This is the map awareness you have. This is the ability to see around the screen you have. Period. End of story. You have obviously vision cones, but increasing those vision cones when you're sneaking, almost like you're being more perceptive. Really cool. I think that's really unique. And then again, just like the accessibility aspect of it in general, I feel like game you could just pick up. Not complicated. The team fights aren't like incredibly precise like you would imagine something like Dota would be, where it's all about positioning. There is some positioning involved. There is some calculus on when you're going to cast abilities, but in general, a lot of it's just kind of like a brawl, and you're just trying to stay alive and maybe position yourselves in a spot where you're not going to take as much damage. I'm sure if we play more, as we get to higher level, it will really start to get into a position, like more Dota-esque positioning type game. But for now, I think it's fine. I liked it.
We haven't checked out
so.
the arena mode either, so
We need to do that.
That's true.
that's another mode that could be cool.
Chad, what else have you been playing?
Yeah, so I downloaded this game called Strenova, and it is a third-person shooter arena style, team versus team game. The twist to it is if you hit Control on your keyboard, you turn into a 2D character. The bullets will whiz past you if you're like staring at somebody, because you're just a flat Stanley basically. You can also, I think it's space on the keyboard when you get to a wall, or left shift, something. You hit a button when you get close to certain walls, and you can turn 2D and attach to the wall. So now you're just like a spray paint, or like Overwatch spray or something, but you can move it around on the wall. So as to avoid bullets that way as well. It's like a hero shooter, so there's like different skills that you get when you're choosing different characters, different weapon kits that they have as well. And the battle pass is the most important part of that game, because it is a dating simulator. So you
That's
play
amazing.
you play the game and you get points, and then you go and get like this heart from the battle pass chick, and she's like, "Oh my god, thank you for being here," and she like gives you a present because you've impressed her.
Bro, I feel like the evolution of your like appreciation of different types of games is so wild. It was like a very like your category line was like really, really skinny, and then it just is like exploded over the past like year and a half, 2
just
years.
a shooter.
It doesn't matter, dude. Like your descriptions of things, when like the things you pick up on games you're like excited about, it's just so the Chad of 2 years ago. Like, what is this stupid battle pass? What? Absolutely not. Just let me click the button. I'm ready. Next match.
It's just great. Also, actually, the most important part of Stranova isn't even playing the game. It's opening the launcher. So if you see me in Stranova, it's probably not because I'm actually playing it. It's because I have the launcher open in Steam, and it just plays this like phenomenal soundtrack.
So if I would have picked that as one of the games for Video Game Dominable Gauntlet, you'd gotten it?
Maybe, or I would have just asked you what anime is playing.
Yeah. Just play Dear Maria over and over?
Man, it's a really unique concept. It's pretty cool.
The 2D stuff, or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. Stranova. All right. Alex, how about you?
Yeah. Last time I got to talk about Wibibble, I talked about how I was playing Life is Strange, and I played like the first 3 chapters of Double Exposure. And then I finished it after that. So, yeah. Pretty
Verdict?
good. I'm upset because you get to the end of that game and they just leave you on a cliffhanger. And then they pop up a screen that says Max Caulfield will return, which is something
man.
they've never done in any of the other Life is Strange games.
Do you think it's going to be like a DLC like Callisto Protocol? Or Callisto, whatever the name of that game is? The Callisto Protocol? What is the name of that
Callisto
game?
Protocol, yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. You think it'll just be a DLC? Just like a $5
I think they're just
DLC?
gonna make another one because it seems like they totally set up another like a brand new story.
I thought they never made like subsequent games using the same ability. They always changed it up so that it was something new.
Yup. So curious to see what will happen in the next Max game. So like this one, like I talked about before, the gimmick is you swap between 2 timelines throughout the game. That's how your time power has evolved since you haven't used it for a decade or so. Towards the end of the game, she starts doing some crazy stuff where she'll like pull objects from the other timeline into this one, or vice versa. Or I mean, eventually at the end, she essentially combines the 2 timelines into an amalgamation of the 2. So like I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna continue, if they're gonna make 2 more timelines and then have you jump between them, or they're gonna come up with a new gimmick. It would be neat if they let you do original Life is Strange power in the next one, because she's like back to using her powers again, and she's flexed that muscle again, so she's got it back. Because that's like the core constraint in this game is she's like, yeah, I vowed to not use it anymore, so I just haven't used it in like 10 or 12 years or whatever, so I can't. She tries at one point and she's like, can't do it.
The superpower.
I was overall pretty happy with the game though. There's some dialogue areas that are kind of cringe, but that's nothing new to the series. Her performance, like I said earlier when we were talking about Game of the Year, it was pretty good, but nothing Game of the Year worthy. And where they're setting up the story to go in the future seems kind of crazy. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. The thing we learned in this game is that there are other people in the world that have powers.
Oh,
Whoa.
And it's like, whoa.
Wow.
Wild.
And now we're setting up for like,
A cinematic universe.
yeah, like a MCU situation. It's weird. I don't know how bad I feel about that. Well, we'll really just have to see what happens and whatever they do next. The other thing I've been playing is Dragon Age Inquisition. Still, feels like
The
the
new Dragon Age, right? Mm-hmm.
Dragon Age Inquisition. It came out like a decade ago, but it's fine. It's a fine game. I have at this point modded all of the monotony out of the game, so
Wow.
I can actually play through the storyline.
Are you still having trouble getting through it?
It's it's easy. It's more
Take the
direct
station.
now. The last mission I just did was like pretty darn convoluted, I think.
Mm.
It was not like normally the mission is like, oh, there's some bad guys trying to do some bad stuff. You gotta infiltrate the castle and you explore it and kill people that you find until you find the boss and you kill the boss. This one was like, oh, there is a plot to assassinate the Queen of Orlais, and you have to attend to the ball that she's putting on and be undercover and figure out who is trying to kill her and why, and then how to resolve that political conflict in a way that leaves the person that you want to leave in power at the end. And to do that, there was like systems in place, like how much approval rating you had at the ball because you're an outsider, and then how much approval rating you had, like you could do different things based upon that, and like you had to sneak around the castle and find incriminating documents. And at one point I looked up a walkthrough because I was like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. There's like one part where it's like, they're like, hey, anything that you do that is like, obviously people would think you're weird for doing it, you're going to lose like points. And then I kept on running around the castle, couldn't figure out where to go. The only place I could see I could do anything was like climbing this lattice inside the garden where everybody is just hanging out with their wine and cheese. Just in plain view of everybody, just climb this lattice up to the balcony to get into a new area that I wasn't supposed to be in. And I looked up the walkthrough and it's like, yeah, you got to climb the lattice. I'm like, what? You just
That's
told
not
me
weird.
not to do stupid stuff in front of people. Yeah, anyway.
Wow.
So I wasn't a huge fan of that mission, but everything else has been fine, I guess. The real big problem with this game is that it hates you and it wants you to grind forever like an MMO, except for it's a single player game. And so I have introduced mods to alleviate a lot of that, such as modding my save file to give me like infinite Inquisition power, so I don't have to go around the stupid open world areas doing mundane tasks to gain Inquisition power. I boosted the amount of XP I get by like 4 times for everything I do because I'm doing so little of the other content that it expects you to do that I'm under leveled. So I just did that, and now it seems like I'm kind of evening out where I'm supposed to be. I modded, there's a whole system with the war table where you're supposed to send people on various missions to get you items and or influence and or gold or materials or whatever, or unlock areas to explore that you need to be able to explore to progress the main story, or unlock missions for the main story. All that stuff costs real world time to complete, which is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So it'll be like, yeah, you want to do this, you want to unlock this like new area to explore that you need to explore for the next mission. That'll be 45 minutes of you sitting there waiting for it to complete. So I put a mod on that's like, make all the war table missions cost 0 amount of time, instantly complete. What else did I do? I made loot drops like triple or quadruple the amount of stuff it gives me because I'm just not fighting nearly as many things as it expects you to.
So it's fun.
Yeah, I
It's
think
a fun
that's about it.
game.
And then now I can
Sounds
like
fun.
now I can like do the main quest, come back, talk to all my companions, and then automatically have everything I need to go do the next main quest instead of grinding stuff. So that's helped a lot. I've also stopped doing all the companion quests because they are also just a grind, which is really sad. It might have really negative effects on how the story plays out because usually in those
Probably will.
games, you need like approval rating from your companions and stuff like that to have them like you or have good outcomes happen. But it's like I was committed to doing them. And then I kept on running into issues where it's like, all right, Cassandra wants you to kill this specific person from her past. There's like, it's not just one person, first of all, it's like 8 people, and they're in different areas around the world. And I'm like, all right, I've killed 3 of them as I was kind of going through the game so far. I'm trying to get to this 4th one but it seems like there's no way to get there on the map. So I look it up online and they're like, oh yeah, you got to wait until the specific war table mission appears that allows you to send people to clear the rubble for this area of the map. And then after you do that, you can go back to that map and get into that area and kill the person that she needs. And I'm like, this is so stupid. Like I can't be sitting here on the map looking at the thing that you want me to do for this lady and arbitrarily running around in circles and like, why can't I get there? And then look it up online and it's like, oh yeah, you just can't yet. You can't until later because of this dumb arbitrary war table thing. I was so annoyed. So yeah, I've stopped doing all those.
Seems like it's really fun, as Caleb has already said.
Yeah. There's like some
Why
really
are
cool
you still
story moments in the
playing it?
main missions. And I really want the context for what happens in this game.
You couldn't have just like watched a recap video?
It's really like I played through Origins and 2 already, so like I gotta just finish this one now.
Oh my gosh.
You don't
This
gotta.
is
Right.
You didn't have to do
actually
any of that.
very funny given I'm about to talk about how I'm playing the new one, but we'll get into that.
Like I could have just played Veilguard with like a recap of the other games, so I was like, I'll try playing the other ones. And like I tried playing Origins, and I was like, maybe this won't work out, and I just won't play them. But Origins was a ton of fun, and I was like, great. And then I started playing 2, and despite all of its flaws, and everybody saying it was a low point in the series, I actually still had a good time playing that one. And I was like, well, surely that was the low point in the series, so I can get through Inquisition now. And for me, I think Inquisition's the worst one.
Inquisition's my least favorite of the series.
Really?
Granted, I can't speak on it too much because I didn't play a ton of it. I played several hours of it and then basically said, I don't like this, I'm done. And I just stopped playing it.
Man. It feels so archaic even compared to the games that precede it.
I don't understand why they went away from the Dragon Age Origins formula. It was fantastic.
Origins was great.
And Jake loves Inquisition. I don't understand it.
Yeah, Jake, you hear that?
It's a lot of
he
stuff
likes it more
that,
than 2. He doesn't like it more than 1, right?
No, I don't think so.
yeah, I think he says 1 is still his favorite.
Ben, do you want to go ahead and go since you played
I
the
can.
new Dragon Age that wasn't released 10 years ago?
Yeah, I can talk about it. Granted, I want to preface this by saying I'm probably about 4 hours into it, so I'm not like crazy far yet. I've been out of town for the last week and a half, so I haven't had a ton of video game time. But new Dragon Age. So first off, I'm going to say I should have at least watched a recap video before going into it. It doesn't. So for reference, I have not played a Dragon Age game in probably like 6 years at least at this point. Like it's been, I think the last time I played a Dragon Age game was when Inquisition came out. I played a bit of it and then I was like, cool, I don't like this, I'm done. But I forget a lot of parts of the Dragon Age world, and boy does this game just like chuck you in 100%. You're just running like right off the bat, just like start you with, hey, you gotta go save the world right now. Like I'm like, oh god, what's happening?
Yeah.
It also immediately throws you in with a bunch of characters from the previous game. Like you're immediately with, and I'm like, I think I remember these guys from the previous game, but I don't remember anything about them. So it was kind of wild right at the beginning. They change up the formula in terms of combat and like how you move the character around. It's kind of more, I'm trying to remember, is Inquisition still more like kind of top down and you're sort of controlling the three your characters by moving them around the map?
They really feel like they made it more for a controller, like you run around kind of over the shoulder.
So Veilguard, it's very funny because the reason I decided I was definitely get into it is early on. I think some famous video game reviewer said that they thought the combat felt like Kingdoms of Amalur, and I went, oh man, yeah, I gotta check that out. It kind of does. Like the parts of it I like it's you're just controlling yourself. You don't actually like ever select and control the other characters. I'm playing a warrior. I'm not really messing with spells too much. And I am playing on a controller, and I think they did a really good job of streamlining the controls on a Xbox controller. They make it really easy to select abilities. They have they simplify it a lot in that all your abilities are mapped to hotkeys, or you can hold like a trigger and then you can quick cast a bunch of other abilities, or you can hold the right bumper and it freezes time so you can select a specific ability if you want to think about it for a second. And it just feels really smooth. Like I'm really happy with it. The only one complaint is more a skill issue because I am playing the warrior, which there are a lot of perks you get as you level up that encourage you to use the parry mechanic, and I am not great with it yet. Very good at dodging attacks, not so good at the parry mechanic, but leveling up seems cool. I like the skill tree a lot. It's very free form. You start with like kind of core skills, and then you kind of branch out in a circle around the core skills, and then your specializations you can get later are in like the cardinal. Like there's 3 in the cardinal points. You kind of build towards them, but it lets you mix up your abilities. And respecking is free, and you can do it as much as you want,
which is awesome.
It's great. I started off by running my build towards the Reaper specialization, which is the one that's all about like lifesteal and healing. And then I was looking at it, and it was really focused a lot on the warriors got a range attack where they can throw their shield Captain America style, which is cool, but that wasn't really what I was going for. So I just hit a button and respected into another direction. It was super easy.
I put a mod on Inquisition to let me infinite respect.
Yeah, it's just nice. I don't understand why you would want to gate respecking. Like, who cares? Who cares if I want to change it up? So I like the combat a lot. It feels really smooth. The gameplay's good. Complaints so far, like I said, it throws you in immediately. Very little context for what's going on. If you have no knowledge of the previous games, you're just basically fucked. Like, I barely remember a little bit, but there's just basic things like
That's so odd.
Like I'm 4 hours into the game, and the game has not explained to me anything because like a core mechanic of the Dragon Age universe is how mages work. Like mages can go like insane, they can get possessed by demons. Like that's like a core thing. I'm 4 hours into the game, it hasn't come up yet. Like
I'm
they
a
talked
lot
about
farther, and it still hasn't come up.
Yeah,
They've never mentioned that, so I don't know if that even exists.
Well, like, because they make some side comments about, like, at one point you're in a city and they're talking about the government there, and, like, one of your, like, the guys following you is just like, how do they, like, function without, like, anybody controlling the mages? Like, what if they go crazy? And then there's like, blah, blah, and then it just, like, goes off, and I'm like, what? Like, I think I remember how this works from previous games, but dear God, give me some context. Come on, like, you've introduced this entire fantasy world, and it gives no information about it. Like...
It's basically one of the primary conflicts in all 3 of the original games.
It's just irrelevant.
Yes,
in Veilguard so far,
and like it's not even mentioned. Like it's just wild to me how little they explain to you. Like it feels like 50% of anything that's going on is like, well, I hope you played the previous games and remember. Otherwise, you don't know what's happening.
I would have expected this to 100% be
literally. You start the game by going into
friendly.
You start the game by going into the fade, and I shit you not, it never tells you what the fade is.
Oh, really?
It just says, "Oh, we're in the fade
right?
now," and it's just like, what?
It explains that one. Maybe a little further on, but it explains
maybe
that.
later. But it's just, I don't know. That's a complaint of mine. The other one, which I think this is just because I'm so early in the game, is it feels like they heard complaints that Inquisition was too open world and they went in the opposite direction with this one. Like, it feels very much centered around you're fast traveling around to areas that are separate from each other. Like, the only way to get to this town is to fast travel to it. The only way to get to this area is to fast travel to it. And then when you're there, it's kind of limited in where you can go. And at least right now, what I'm running into, and this might be because I'm pretty early in the game, is like it feels like 50% of the directions, if it's like the quest's over here, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna explore around a little bit first, and like 90% of the places I try to explore around, it's like, this is locked, you can't go in yet. I'm like, okay,
there
I
are
guess.
a ton of locked doors that are opened by side quests or main quests that just kind of prevent you from exploring a lot of the area until you unlock those.
Yeah,
Which can be frustrating.
It's probably because I'm a little early, but right now it feels very much like, go here, do this. Go here, do this. And I'm like, why? What's happening? I don't even know what's happening at this point. I'm just being told to go here, do this.
It definitely opens up a few hours later.
I would like that at this point.
But like I said, I love the combat. I am enjoying the combat style of this the most. I mean, you guys have heard me complain before. I don't like RPGs that have you manage like multiple party members. I don't like dealing with that. I just like having a single party member. This one, it simplifies it a lot. I mean, they're still there, but it's almost just like you're playing a single player that just has some extra abilities you can throw at people. Like
the gameplay feels a lot like Mass Effect, just with swords instead of guns.
Very similar. That's right.
A reference I would get.
Yeah.
I can't remember how the item system stacks up to previous games. I found it kind of interesting in this one. It doesn't seem like there's like a huge like breadth of different items you can find.
Oh man, there is.
Is there? I was gonna say
there's a lot of items,
but it's got a system where if you find a duplicate of the item, it upgrades the existing one. So finding duplicates isn't annoying, and then there's like a separate upgrade system that you can also go through.
Yeah, so the main highlight of the game is absolutely combat, and there is a surprising depth of build variety and build crafting. I have like 4 different ways I've built my mage out, all of which are fun to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of perks and like skill options going around. Like it's not like as much as we say the combat feels like Mass Effect. The builds are way more complex than Mass Effect gets.
That is very true.
It's
is it too much to hope for them to have like a save build option?
There's no.
Okay.
No, I don't think they have that. It's
no
not
remnant.
as much as
menu.
as much as they make it free to respec, it doesn't feel like you're intended to like respec between runs. That doesn't feel like the goal.
Yeah, they might add that later, much like Remnant didn't have it when it first came out. We'll see.
But I'm really enjoying it. I've been playing it almost exclusively on the Steam Deck, because I have been on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean for the last week and a half.
It runs all right on there.
I turned all the graphics down to pretty minimum, pretty much minimum graphics. But I would say I get pretty consistent 30 FPS on it, and it doesn't look too bad. I found a YouTube video where somebody talked about like, hey, turn it to minimum, but then make like these 3 changes to make it look slightly better. And it hasn't froze or stuttered at all.
You're the guy. You're the guy that I've been searching for.
Yeah.
If only there were like, I don't know, other games you could play on your Steam Deck that look beautiful and are masterpieces. I can't think of any offhand, but
flawlessly.
Yeah. But anyway,
I did play a little bit more Kingdoms of Amalur. You're right, Aaron. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
God,
there was a
why did I
while
sell you a
back
Steam
when we
Deck?
looked at like a list of most played games on Steam Deck, and they're like a lot of them are like big AAA games that I'm sure don't run that well. And I'm like, who's doing this?
No, it's honestly, I've been pretty happy with it. I mean, I got right when I first started playing it, I was like, oh, it's a little like off, but I got used to it real quick and felt great.
Nice. I will say one last piece on Veilguard. If what you like about BioWare games is all of the companions and their interesting stories and writing, you might be disappointed by this one.
Oh,
yeah,
the writing
that's not where I thought that was.
not
sentence is
great.
going.
Yeah, I have heard from other people that this one, a lot of people are saying that the quality of writing fell a lot in Veilguard.
Yes.
I'm not quite far enough in, I think, to really judge that. Although the complaints about them not explaining anything in the plot is probably not a good sign. But
also,
like I said, I think combat-wise, this is my favorite BioWare game I've played so far. Like,
nice, yeah.
Including Mass Effect games. It just feels smooth. I'm enjoying it a lot.
I lied. I do have one more thing.
Yeah, sure.
You know how we all complained about how they changed the name from Dreadwolf to Veilguard because Dreadwolf's like a sick name and the Veilguard's terrible. The reason they changed it is because the Dreadwolf is not important. Like it all.
Ooh.
Really?
He's important for like this part and then like this part.
I mean,
all this
he's around the whole time.
Oh, he's around.
Very
kind of.
minorly.
He's over there. You can talk to him occasionally when the game says you can talk to him.
That's
Wow.
basically the system. Yeah.
Oh, frick,
Would
no way.
recommend, but now it didn't occur to me until we talked about it today. I'm probably going to go look up a recap video for the plot of Inquisition because
Yeah, they probably did rewrites or something because it was supposed to be heavily focused on the Dreadwolf.
I'm telling you, man, he is pretty unimportant.
So
Right.
here's something interesting that honestly ties into the Steam family thing from earlier that we talked
Mhm.
about. I'm the one that bought this game among our family share,
Mhm.
and then
It's been
I
nice. Thanks.
saw a bunch of
Thanks,
things
brother.
about the game and was like, I don't think I want to play this game, and so I went to refund the game and could not because people had played over 2 hours
Oh, no.
in the family.
I'm sorry, Chad.
So sorry.
That's very funny.
So just throwing that out there, if you're going to buy a game and you think others in the family are going to play it, but you're not sure about the game, maybe hold off on buying it.
I did learn and confirm that unlike the old library sharing, the Steam family share does not care if I switch myself into offline mode and play one of your games.
Nope.
At all. Because it used to be if you did that, it would yell at you like, hey, you can't do this while you're offline. Now, doesn't care at all, which is the only reason I was able to play it on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean for a week.
Yeah, it's maybe too lenient about what it lets you do.
It might be a little too lenient.
Leave it be. Leave it be.
I guess besides refunds, they're not lenient on that.
True.
I'm just
Can't remember if I'm still
every
playing
time
your
I see a
copy,
game
Chad,
pop
or
up
if I
in
bought
the
it
library now, I'm gonna launch it for at least 2 hours to make sure
Just
that,
let it sit idle.
make sure nobody can ever return anything again.
What a
Oh my
monster.
gosh.
Do you have other games, Ben?
Oh yeah, sorry.
I saw you having a
Wait.
conversation.
Are we
I'm like-
podcasting right now?
I'm like looking
I
at
don't
the
think so.
notes. I'm like,
Yeah,
well, we
still
c-
playing a bit of Satisfactory, but I
Good.
kind of already talked about that in a previous cast. So I don't have much new to add there. Similarly, because I was just trying to find stuff to do, I downloaded a couple things onto my phone, just that are mobile versions now that I mean to play some more of. Which brand new. Bet you guys have never heard of this game called Loop Hero.
What's that?
Yeah, crazy.
I played a little bit of it back when it released, and I didn't get back to it, but I picked it back up because I saw it's got a mobile version now. Plays great. Feels good on mobile. I like it. And then I played through and beat Luck Be a Landlord, which is a surprisingly fun little roguelike game. I actually had a lot of fun with that and would recommend it for anybody who wants something that's like, just play for a little bit here, a little bit there. I mean, it does a good job on mobile of like pausing directly in the middle if you leave and then come back later.
I didn't realize they had a mobile version. That's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Don't
Yeah.
have to save. It honestly, I have not played it anywhere else, and it literally just feels like it was designed to be a mobile game. Like it runs excellent. But I played through all 9 like apartment levels and then beat the game, and it's fun.
Nice to get a penthouse suite.
I don't know what that means. I think so.
I'm just
Is that what happens? at the end?
assuming you get better apartments as you play through, but I don't really know.
I honestly I played through until I defeated the landlord and he got turned into fertilizer, and then it was just like
Okay.
Oh wow.
yeah. And then
Wow.
it was the whole game is just like
Dark.
you keep getting letters from like the Communist Party being like, hey, screw these capitalist landlords. But it was actually very funny for just a little text info.
That's
But
great.
at the end, it was basically just like, yeah, you can keep playing if you want, but you're kind of done. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I mean, probably gave me a good 4 or 5 hours of gameplay. I kind of wanted more challenge modes. Like, in theory, like every level you go up, they add like difficulty modifiers. It never really felt that difficult. Like, even
It's
when I
because
beat
you're
the-
too good of a gamer.
Yeah,
that
PUBG.
must be it. But like, I beat the game and I kind of went and I was like, is that it? Is there more? No, it's just I'm done. Okay. Like it was. I think I beat every level within like 2 or 3 tries. It was not.
Hmm.
I don't know. I could have used a little bit more difficulty there, or like an additional mode or something like that. Other than that, it was really fun.
I will go next. Three things I want to talk about. First and foremost is Void Rot. This is a 2D action platformer that is very like smaller in scope, smaller in scale and design. Hollow Knight. I love this game. I think if you're looking for something that's like scratches that itch, this is probably it. It's not going to have all the polish of Hollow Knight. It's not going to have all the story of Hollow Knight, but it's a very fun game. They do a great job of sort of building the story around you. You're like constantly confused about what's going on, similar to Hollow Knight. Like you got all these characters who are just describing things. You're like, what? That didn't even make any sense, but okay. You have a whole bunch of different abilities that you learn throughout the game. They have very distinct biomes with very distinct enemies that you fight. And it does a good job of making you revisit like just a traditional Metroidvania, making you revisit different parts of the map multiple times over because your abilities allow for different types of traversal.
It has a lot of movement in it pretty early, right?
Yes. Yeah. You get your slide, essentially. It's one of the first things you get. And then like I think maybe your third ability is also move ability. There's just a lot of movement in this game in general. Things I will say about this game. I already said it's really good, and I really like it. Things I will say that are probably negatives to this game. There's like no real storytelling cutscene elements. I mean, there are like a few, but they're so limited. The story is the game you're playing. Some of the animations, I think, look a bit wonky. It's almost like they got to the point at which the game played really well, and it was incredibly like the controls were tight, but they're like, it'll be fine. Just it's fine. So some of the animations are strange. Like your dash animation is a little weird. It just looks like your character model just kind of slides across the screen instead of having like a really like clean dash movement. You get this sort of, we'll call it a wall climb-ish ability at some point. Also very strange. Just like your character just kind of is just moving. That's fine. That's a polish element. It doesn't really affect your gameplay. That's okay. The other problem I have with this game is that the bosses at the end of the game are way too easy.
Oh.
Early boss, so hard. Took a while for me to beat. End boss, literally first time.
Interesting.
No problem.
Because of all your power-ups, like you're just too strong at that point?
No, because I beat him pretty early, and I've played a lot since. They got a lot of feedback, and they are retuning, and I think after I beat the game, they retuned the last boss to be way more difficult. So now might be a good time to jump in and try it.
When did this come out? Did it come out after I complained about the end bosses for Nine Souls? And
it came out this year. I don't know when it came out this year.
they like listen to our
late
podcast
October.
and they're like, "Ooh, we gotta make our last bosses not super tough."
Oh,
Yeah,
October
definitely.
24th. Yeah. I don't know. Excellent game. Also, the soundtrack, pretty freaking good. I'm pretty impressed with the soundtrack. So, yeah, go play it. It's fun. And it's not long. It's like 10 hours. Well, technically, if you ask my Steam Deck, I've played 824 hours. And if you ask my Steam profile on my PC, I've played 2.4 hours of this game and almost 100%ed it. So,
Why does
So
it do
somewhere between
that?
there.
somewhere between there, but realistically 10 hours to beat. Very fun game.
Baby Hollow Knight. Baby's first Hollow Knight.
Baby's first Hollow Knight, yes.
I guess we need to start Ben on before we can actually play Hollow Knight.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey, I played
Wow.
like 20 minutes of Hollow Knight.
You played the worst part of Hollow Knight. Good job.
No wonder I didn't like it.
Not only the other thing I'll say about this, not only are you developing like new abilities and stuff, but you're also like like in Hollow Knight, you're improving the nail that you have to be sharper, and you improve some other things, like maybe your health pool, other things you improve like throughout. You get that sort of same mechanic. You find these things to make your weapon stronger, your health pool larger, and you also have like ability casting, and you get more cast points for abilities as you sort of progress throughout the game. And that's, kind of the sort of steps you take towards the end. But anyway, all that to say, I really like the game, but it's just a short version of Hollow Knight. It's a lot of fun. Two other things that I've been playing that I know a lot of people have had issues with, especially in this podcast group. One of them is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I'm going to just go ahead and make this statement. This is the best campaign in a Call of Duty game ever made.
ever made.
Put a period.
Ever made.
Put a period on it.
Ever
Play,
Check it
you
out.
play
made.
in the hardest difficulty?
I did play on the hardest difficulty. Yes, it is not as hard as playing in realism mode in Modern Warfare.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
it's like a step down from there. I don't think it's the best because it is the best like brand new introduction of some universe, because it's obviously not. It's like a continued telling of a story in the Call of Duty universe. What I think they did better than anything else, anything they've ever done before, is take things from other games that they loved and implant them into this game in a way that makes sense and works. All the missions are different. You have a house you revisit in between missions to upgrade your stuff, similar to how you'd like upgrade your weapons in Zombies or re-kit yourself for Warzone, things like that.
And a sick
um,
puzzle involved.
Oh, there's a puzzle. Sure. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. It's not,
I hear it's sick.
it's not Zombies puzzle level, but it's not bad.
It's an Easter egg inside
like-
the house in the campaign.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep, there is. There's some fun stealth missions. They do a good job of really allowing you to take missions in very different approaches, which I find very nice. They also have these like other missions that really feel like they're pulled again from like other games that maybe the developers played, and they're like, oh, it'd be really cool to implement this into the game. And they did a great job of it. It's not like it just literally is plucked out of something else and just shoved in there and it feels out of place. Very much ties into the storyline, and it just makes the game enjoyable. They also, for the first time that I am aware of, tie in their other types of game, their other systems in Call of Duty. Like they tie in Zombies, they tie in Warzone,
Whoa, spoiler.
they tie in it like the mechanics of those systems. They pull them into the single player campaign, which I have not
Mhm.
experienced before in a Call of Duty. I really like that. Judge as you will, the game has, of course, bugs, and it's still Call of Duty, so you're gonna get what you're gonna get. It's a Call of Duty game, but I really, really enjoyed it. If you have not played the campaign, I would suggest you play it because I found it a lot of fun. Chad, did you ever finish it?
I
Still
got
haven't been
6
able to play?
missions in, and then I'm still stuck at my save is gone.
Wow.
But it's on the Trello.
All right.
I look at their Trello quite frequently, and it did go from they've changed it again. It did go from a gray, which is labeled something like known issue or something like that, to an orange, investigating.
Oh,
Wow.
all right. Caleb, have you played a lot of this game?
I have played the first mission. That's all.
Oh, the first mission. Okay. All right. Somebody else needs to finish it so I can talk to them about the story.
I plan to.
We'll get there.
I shall.
I mean,
The
I
other
got
game-
a bunch
What?
of vacations, so Mondays
Okay.
and Fridays I'm off. So maybe I'll just like
Okay,
at 8
just take
a.m.
one
wake
day.
up and then just
Do the
try
whole
to play it.
Yep. Whole thing. I
How
did
long
that
is
with
it? Do you know?
The Last of Us
8 hours.
Part 1.
Heck
10
yeah.
hours.
Although I don't know
could do
how
Last
long
of
it
Us Part
would
One
be
instead.
on veteran difficulty.
I
Also played Uncharted 3.
wow. That one's crazy.
Uncharted 4 is really long. Uncharted 3
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
that bad.
Okay. Yeah, you made us need to play it in one sitting. The other game I've been playing a lot of that also has been causing issues with players globally is Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and say I love this game because this was my most anticipated game of the year. We talked about this early on. I was so pumped for this game. I understand there are bugs, there are issues. I have dealt with very few, actually. I'm very fortunate to not have to deal with some of the like soft locking that people have gotten into where they have to restart the game entirely, or constant spawning enemies right next to you. That has rarely occurred with me. It is very much sort of revisit to one of my favorite games, which was the original Stalker. And I love it. I think a lot of the elements from the original game, they just improved upon in this one. There's a lot of The atmosphere is excellent. The anomaly stuff that you interact with is really cool. Gear, I said this the other day, but I don't know how I never got into what the heck's the name of that extraction? Yeah, Tarkov. Because this game, it plays like Tarkov, kind of. Like with inventory management and gunplay, it just feels that way.
I can tell you why you didn't get into Tarkov.
Why?
It's not a great game.
It's not it, huh?
Do you want to walk for, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes and then get one shot from where?
Yeah,
you don't know.
That's true. From where? Okay, yeah, I don't want that. But in this game, I do walk for 15 or 20 minutes on occasion if I need to get somewhere really far, because that's the only way you can get from point A to point B.
But like when you shoot at things, your recoil doesn't go into the air, and
it doesn't. It's not crazy. Yes. The one thing. Okay, so I already talked about things that I liked. I also really like the story in this game. I think it's so far pretty fleshed out. Seems really interesting. I'm excited to explore more areas of the zone. I've only been to 5 areas of the zone so far. I think there's like 12 or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a very big game. I think they're saying like 80 hours or something.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't know if that I haven't looked at how long to beat since the like original game developer came out and said like, oh, we have 100 hours of content. It's like 68 hours to beat or whatever. It may be much shorter than that, but I don't know. I'm playing all the side content too. I want to kind of complete regions before I move on, which means I'm pretty strong when I fight enemies at the moment. I don't like when you first start the game, you get decimated by enemies when you play on the hardest difficulty. I am wiping the floor with people now, so
I think decimated might be an understatement. With the first enemy that's you come across, like that, like not one of the humans, but like
the first
one of the
scary
anomalies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's almost a puzzle, and like, how do I kill this guy? Like, I get 2 tapped, I literally get slammed to the ground, I stand back up, and he's already coming at me and slamming me to the ground again, and I'm dead. So it's wild. I actually this was the first game that I have actually died so many times at the first enemy on a hard difficulty that I googled like, hey yo, is this just too hard? Like, should I down my difficulty?
Is this a tree sentinel situation?
It is no kidding. It is a very short amount of time before you get strong enough to be able to just fight enemies.
This is the Witcher 3 issue.
Like the first enemy's really hard.
You play Witcher 3 on Death March because any of the other ones is way too easy, but like the first couple of fights you have are so freaking hard.
Yeah, the Griffin fight on Death March, man.
Man, I got to I feel like this isn't really spoilers level, but I got to the first, like the boat, the broken down boat, and it took me 18 to 20 shots to kill something inside that boat.
Mm-hmm.
And Caleb's like, I don't think I shot that many times. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, am I just not aiming correctly? Like, what's happening here?
You have the right
Skill-based
ammo
damage.
Yeah, their
Right
ammo determines
in.
how much damage
you
do.
can swap
No.
ammo.
Way.
Yeah, dude. This game, there's a lot of layers. I will say, okay, so this gets me into the point of the things I wanted to talk about that I find a little bit frustrating. One, the tutorialization in this game, very poor. But it was in the original Soccer 2, so I kind of went in expecting that. Your inventory, specifically, you can swap your gun, like your shooting mode. You can swap the ammo that you're firing. You can also, like, obviously equip and unequip various attachments. But all of those happen in a very specific way. You have to have the gun equipped to attach and unattach attachments. That's the only time you can do it. Can't just be in your inventory. For ammo, the only way to know what ammo you have equipped is to hold tab to go into that sort of overarching menu to see weapon selection. And then you can see on the box what it says. That's the only way you can tell. If you go in your inventory, you hover over the box, it's like, oh, these are mushrooming shots that do more damage but don't have armor penetration. Or these are armor penetration shots that do more damage from longer distance if you're taking body shots against enemies. Helpful to know. But in the bottom right-hand corner where you see your ammo, if you hit N to swap your ammo type, it just looks like the same box. And it doesn't tell you anything. Weird
There's
choice.
ammo types.
Oh, there's so many ammo types, dude. I have four different types of ammo for my pistol alone.
I mean, that makes sense and why, you said it's kind of like Tarkov.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I had my double barrel shotgun and I had one shell left, and I was like, I hit reload, and I didn't think it would do anything. And then it reloaded 2 shells, and I had 9 suddenly, and I was like, what just happened?
Because you swapped your ammo types when you
Yeah.
run out of the first ammo type. Yeah, that's a weird part too.
I was
I
so
don't know why.
confused.
That's a weird one. So again, the sort of tutorialization of some of those systems is strange. They made a choice to have you like you can do fast travel later on in the game between the like towns, but you have to pay in-game currency. Okay, all right, sure. If I would be okay with that, if the currency system were not so wild and broken. Like you get a gun and it's worth like 23,000 credits, and you go take it to a vendor. You're like, I want to sell this thing, and it's like, oh, this is worth 800 credits.
Wow.
Mm.
Excuse me? And
That's
then you're
more
done.
than getting
Starfinder
Starfinder.
Yeah, right. All of your weapons have durability, and so you're like, okay, well, I can't sell it to him for a lot, so I must be able to repair it for like a pretty inexpensive amount of money. No, it's 26,000 credits to repair that thing with 100% durability. So at the moment, you're like, I'm not going to repair anything. I'm just going to find new weapons and throw my old weapons away. Which I mentioned this to Alex and Caleb. Object permanency in this game all the time. You can go back to any spot you've ever been. That thing is laying right there on the ground, right where you left it. Doesn't matter what it is. I have a stack of AKs. There's like 30 of them in one of the towns because I'll just walk in and I just drop them in case I ever need to sell them to the guy.
No freaking way.
Yeah, wild. All this to say, the reason a lot of that is happening is because they have this system that's built into Stalker. It's called A-Life. The new version is called A-Life 2.0. And what it's supposed to do is interactions between the factions and enemies off screen or in regions of the zone that you're not currently in. It is present in the game, but it's currently broken. So like none of that is actually happening. So all of these like minor things that are supposed to be happening in the world, like faction on faction fighting over points of interest within regions, or NPCs getting killed while you're not there if you take too much time to get there, or like all of your loot disappearing if you leave it laying on the ground. None of that's happening because the A-Life system is just not working. So in essence, I kind of have the game on a slightly easier mode than if I was playing on hard difficulty when A-Life was working. But you know, hey, cool, that's fine. That's fine with me. They said they're not going to address it in the first patch, but they're going to address it in the second patch. Because first patch is to fix all of the like soft lock and bug issues.
Lazy.
Yeah.
That's what we're all saying, right?
No.
No?
Other than that, I again will say this. I love this game. Even with its problems right now, boy, this gets an honorable mention for me. Almost certainly.
I can tell I'm going to really enjoy it when they fix a bunch of performance issues and a bunch of bugs.
That's crazy. See, that's the thing. I have had 0 performance issues.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, on occasion, I'll have it, like, jump down, like, 20 frames. Okay, cool. But that, like, is very rare. I do not have floating heads, bodies that sink into the ground, people holding their hands with no guns but somehow shooting you. None of that happens. I don't have any of those
You're going to
problems.
have bodies getting stuck in a building going...
Never. I mean, never. It is crazy
really
how
takes you
few
out of the immersion
actual
of that.
in-world bugs I have. I don't know. I think
Lucky man.
my PC build must just be like the most streamlined PC build on planet Earth.
We know mine's busted. So.
Yours catches on fire regularly. Chad's has Provoxy installed on it. So it just makes sense that mine's going to work the best.
Yep.
Mhm.
I didn't have too many issues in Cyberpunk compared to most people, which was kind of interesting because I don't think I had the best computer when it was like when that game was out compared to some of you guys.
I
For
feel
some
like
reason,
Cyberpunk legitimately ran worse on better computers when it released. I don't know why.
yeah.
Anyway, your choice if you want to wait on A-Life. I would say if you want like full immersion in this game, wait, because I think that's going to be a real key component. It was a key component in the first one. It should be in this because it will change the way the game is played. I will probably go back and play it when it's in it, but I want to continue this playthrough because I freaking love this game.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off for a little bit just because
This is I am Chad and Cyberpunk 2077 right now. This is what is going on. I'm so enthralled by this game that I'm willing to look past the problems that exist because I'm like, this game is going to be great.
Yeah.
I love it as it is right now.
Did any of you actually go back and play Cyberpunk yet?
I haven't.
Nope, it's on my list.
Still
but I
on
haven't
my
gone back
list.
to play it.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Haven't either.
I know.
I've waited this long to talk about the ending of that game. It's just, I'm just miserable.
So sorry.
I
Um,
decided I'll play it whenever I get around to upgrading my graphics card again.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Last but not least, Caleb.
I have been playing. So I've been playing Metaphor ReFantazio, but I kind of wanted to wait for Jake to be back to talk about that because I know he's played a bunch of it. But in the meantime, I have 2 puzzle games that I played recently that I really enjoyed.
One of them I'm excited to hear you talk about because I want to play it.
Is that Lorelei and the Laser Eyes?
Yes.
Yeah, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, really unique, interesting puzzle game. It's all done in basically grayscale, except for there's a bunch of red color, which I love that kind of aesthetic. It really appeals to me. But it is a kind of adventure exploration puzzle game. You play as titular Lorelei, exploring a old manor that some weird eccentric guy invited you to be part of an art display. And
Interesting.
yeah, and you kind of just explore a lot of eerie, atmospheric sort of locations and events as you're solving a variety of really well done puzzles. A lot of really fun puzzles in the game. I felt like I was very, very, very rarely stuck on something. And usually it's because I was trying to solve a puzzle that I didn't have all the information for, but I just didn't realize I didn't have all the information for it. So there's a lot of exploration in order to find those solutions. And usually they're pretty obvious that what you found is a solution to a specific puzzle. So it does a really good job of that. It also tells a really interesting, weird story. It's kind of a story split up among multiple different timelines. Or not timelines, time periods. But it does a really good job of telling. I really enjoyed exploring and learning about this story of Lorelei.
Okay.
So, I really like it. It like I said, the puzzles are really good. There's a lot of writing things down. You're gonna want to have a notebook and pencil or Steam Notes open.
Heck yeah.
So yeah,
All right.
it's good stuff.
Cool.
The other game is The Rise of the Golden Idol. I think we've talked about The Curse of the Golden Idol before, which is the game that came out before this. It is very, very similar to Curse of the Golden Idol. It is a very, I want to say, deductive reasoning, I guess, kind of game. It's very detective-like. You're basically given a crime scene. Each one is a crime scene. And you get to kind of explore it and figure out what happened that caused this crime. And you have there's usually like multiple screens, so you can be like inside of the house, outside of the house. There's a whole bunch of things to click on and interact with to find clues. I thought Rise of the Golden Idol, the second one, the new one, did a really, really good job of environmental clues. Things that you maybe wouldn't be paying that close attention to, but are actually really important for figuring out how everything went down. And those end up being incredibly important because without them you get quite stuck, quite lost. And the game will hint you at the game has a hint system built in, so you can kind of hint you at those. But all over, the puzzles were just really, really good. Just as good as the first game, maybe better in some areas, probably better in some areas.
Is this a prequel? Because if it's not, I don't like the title.
No, it takes place 200 years later, I think.
But it's the rise of the Golden Knight. Wait, did it fall and it's rising again?
Yeah, essentially, this is not spoiler. Essentially, the Golden Idol was lost to time.
Okay, all right.
And its pieces have been found.
Okay, all right, fine, I'll take it.
Just before the podcast, my phone informed me that my Netflix subscription gave me access to download this game on my phone.
Excuse?
What?
Yeah.
Is this a Netflix game?
I guess they're publishing it on mobile.
Interesting. On mobile, I don't know about that. I feel like you're gonna miss stuff playing on a screen that small. Important stuff.
Interesting.
I'm not sure how that would do on mobile.
Netflix's game category thing in general is just strange to me.
Yeah.
It is weird.
I don't.
Pretty
Whatever.
sure there's a Outer Banks game now.
Stop it,
Aaron about to go download
bro.
it.
Caleb, are you? Did you have anything else to say about the Golden Idol? That's cool, though.
I don't really think so. No, it's really good. I'm pretty sure Jake has played some of it. I think it's even on his Game of the Year possibilities.
Cool.
Hunt for Lost Treasure. Date your favorite characters.
Chad, before
Oh
we
my
end this
gosh.
podcast, I really need to know how the heck you finished season 4.
How did I finish it?
Yeah,
Oh, because I probably should have just turned it off.
this is one of the stupidest shows I've ever seen in my
Did
life.
you not get my text message?
I did, and I was like, okay, it can't be that bad because I wasn't that far into it, and it was like kind of dumb. But man, they just spiral out of control.
There's one scene where I finally texted you, and you probably know what scene it is. And I was just like, "This is worse than Arrow. Like, this is 100% worse than Arrow.
Bro,
Like
bro,
That's a low bar, man.
that. It's worse than Arrow. Arrow. I would rather rewatch Arrow than to rewatch Outer Banks again. I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't know. I don't understand why I'm watching this show. First of all, we talked about this multiple times. I don't understand why I'm watching this show. Why? This is not a show I would normally watch.
Listen,
I don't know what it is.
The next season's going to come out. And we're both going to watch it. Like
I know, but
it's
why?
a sickness.
Why? Season 1 was okay. It was
You
okay.
finally
Season 2, it was
understand
okay.
Arrow,
3
Aaron.
and 4, what the heck is happening? Especially season 4. No,
I just want season 1 again. I just want to go. I think I need to go rewatch season 1 to see why I liked it so much,
right.
and then compare it to the rest.
Maybe just play this game. The FAQ says, do I need to watch the Outer Banks show to play the Netflix stories Outer Banks? And it says, no, you don't need to have watched the source material to play the Netflix stories Outer Banks. The storyline mirrors the show's first season, and honestly, going in blind means that all the story's twists and turns will be even more unexpected. Like, who is the bad guy pulling all the strings, for instance?
What a good synopsis.
Wow.
Frickin' A.
This is what I'm about to do with my life.
Don't
I'm going to go
please.
play the Netflix Outer Banks game, having never watched the show, so I can experience all the twists and turns for the first time.
Bro, I don't understand how you finished this season. Anyway, we can get past this. We don't need to talk about Outer Banks anymore because it's really not worth talking about. But I think that's it. I think that's it for the podcast, guys. We did well, except for when we played Video Game Indomitable Gauntlet, but we don't have to talk about that anymore. It's okay.
What we do?
But yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Mhm. Yep, cool. Anyways, I guess that's it for us. So tune back in 2 weeks. Thanks so much for joining us. We will catch you next time.
Happy gobble gobble gobble.
See ya.
Bye.